Hi!
Hello!
Hello! How are ya?
It's a beautiful and not so hot day in NY City!
In
NY
New York
City! And
City!
yeah, New York City!
Yes, hello. Kumusta? Kumusta? Diyos ko, last night lang, di ba? Magkita na naman tayo. We had so much fun last night with our interview with Mr. Jonathan Buencamino of Intro Boys.
Yes.
Ngayon naman, oh my God, excited din ako sa ating special guest. Ano naman tayo? International. Filipino pa rin. Pero ano siya, sikat na doktor to.
At based dito sa
OMG.
New York, di ba?
Yes, talagang ano ba? Parang international slash Filipino. Basta yun na yun. Sabay ganun eh. No? Oh, by the way, naku si Lali. Lali, amante, na-miss kita girl. Na-miss ka namin.
Hi, Lali!
Lali, oo nga pala may message kita ha kasi kukunin ka namin ulit na special guest host. Favorite ka kasi namin and favorite ka din ng mga pag weekdays, lalo na pag wala si Jay. Kasi favorite ka ng hinahanap ka ng mga tao.
Asan pa siya pumunta ngayon? Bakit parang Saan ka palalim?
Siya nagba-volleyball lang bakla.
Namasyal.
Namasyal, oo, kaya ganon. O tawag dito, Jekas, anong ginagawa mo ngayon? Anong iniinom mo?
Peach vodka.
Yeah. Alam mo, one of these days, let me try that. Yung mga different, I always drink Merlot, Cabernet, minsan Malbec. I'll try naman for nag-beach volleyball daw si Lali Amante. That's why.
Training.
Max.
Sigurado ka bang manifest yung ginagawa mo? Baka ibang
baka iba
baka
yan.
nota yung binamanifest mo, ha?
Uy, Lali, one of these days, ha? We will attend your tournament para makita ka namin. I'm sure Jekas will find maybe a special someone.
Kami. habang nagva-volleyball ka, kami yung sportscaster. Ayan! Sige! Tamaan mo!
O yan. Sutukin mo.
Palpalin mo yung bola! Diba? Mukha lang kami tanga.
Gaganda nyo naman. Ang fresh. Hindi rin. Diyos ko, Lord. Anyways, naku, thank you so much. Ito, si Lali ang unang-una. Teka, sandali. Hindi pa tayo nag-good morning and good night? And good, ba? Anyways, okay. Mag-uumpisahan ko na, ha? Good morning, Pilipinas, sa lahat ng nanonood. Good evening, USA at JCAS. Lagi mo sinasabi?
Good morning po sa lahat ng Filipino community in different parts of the world, kasuluk-sulukan ng galaxy, at special mention po ang mga nakatira sa Uranus.
Sa Uranus? Yeah. Si Kaden lagi-lagi na sinasabi, Kaden, where did you go? Uranus. Ako, walang yung bata ko. Dahil lang sa inyong dalawa ni Direk.
Hindi po Uranus, Uranus.
Oh my God! Oh, at least buti na lang nakakaintindi ng Tagalog din yung special guest natin.
Oo nga, buti naman. Akala ko nosebleed tong gabing to.
Oo. Hindi, okay lang. Ano ka ba? Ano naman tayo?
Well, anyway.
Parang chameleon, di ba?
Yes, you can talk to everyone. Charot!
Vincent ka. O sige na, at i-intro na natin ang ating very special guest for tonight. Kasi nga, excited na ako. Actually, matagal na dapat siyang natin dapat kailan ba yun? Basta nung last month, kaso there was a holiday. So sabi ko, oh my God, I totally forgot na holiday pala. Tapos during Fil-Am days, we had an interview with them. Oo. Ang papayat daw.
Ay! Lali, ano ka ba? Huwag ka mga ganyan. Ako kakain na nga ako ng kanin pagkatapos ito sa payat na pala.
Ang payat. Diyos ko, taba-taba. Wala talaga. September na ako. And you know what? Our special guest for tonight, I'll have to ask him kung ano yung secret kung how to lose weight. Kasi,
ang dami mo na tinanungan na niya. Ang dami mo nang alam, ha? Alam mo na yata lahat ng secret nila. What are you doing with the secrets?
Alam mo, gagawin ko na yon yung secrets na yun. Ito combine ko into one. Lalagay ko sa notebook.
Gagawin mo bola.
I know. Tapos I'll think about it if I'm
tapos nalagay mo sa bag.
Ang papayat nyo. Tigilan mo ako. Hi, Chiki M from Los Angeles. How are you? Yes. O sige, intro ko na. Let me introduce you our very special guest for tonight. Okay? So guys, our special guest for tonight is a proud Pinoy who happens to be the renowned director of training and conditioning for NBA of New York Knicks. Grabe, no? Astig, no? He was born he was born in New Jersey and raised in different parts of the world including the Philippines. Kaya marunong magtagalog, kaso baluktot ng konti. Oo. The UP alumni doctor is a person with a wide range of knowledge and skills such as, eto ha, listen to this. He's a physical therapist, athletic trainer, strength coach, sports scientist, mindful coach, a mentor, a social entrepreneur, a visionary, international speaker. He also happens to be a world traveler, adventure seeker, food lover, and a self-proclaimed dance ninja. I don't know what that means. We'll ask him later kung ano yung dance ninja na yan. Baka pati sa bed nonsense. Ayun na naman tayo.
Siyempre.
Anyways,
That I want to know.
I'm sure you want to. Yeah. And he was also one of the first Filipino VJs in RX 93.1 days. O, diba? DJ din to. Oh, my God, VJ. DJ to like VJ pala. So, my God, JCas, a jack of all trade na naman to, no? One of our guests. At saka from UP, lagi na lang tayo lagi na lang majority ng guests natin from UP. Matatalino sila talaga no? Nakakaloka. So anyways, guys, let's find out his current whereabouts, his roots, his beliefs, and his secrets to success while drinking our favorite drinks. Yeah. So guys, please welcome Dr. Benedict Valencia.
Yeah, Benedict Erwin Valencia.
Yeah.
What na nakaganoon talaga?
Yeah, ready.
Oh my God.
Ready for the K-pop hearts.
I know, right? Mukha siyang K-pop, no?
Buti ka pa mas alam. I think this is the first time I actually did this. Like,
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. No, because
this is a thing.
I know I've been seeing it in the Philippines and people who love K-pop and also the K-dramas, but I am not bitten by the K-dramas at all.
I know. What about you? Are you? Erwin, are you?
You know what? I started watching a little bit, I think, because my sister and my sister-in-law particularly, they're like truly addicted. So because they're addicted, I find myself maybe trying it out, but my brother goes, don't. The moment you step in there, you're lost forever.
Forever, it's true. So is that what happened to you?
You just use watching and watching everything. So I try to limit my intake of K-dramas, but I don't hate on it. And you know what? Because it's very entertaining. Because the moment I get in, I'm going to get sucked in so crazily. So hinay lang, you know.
What have you watched? What have you watched? I'm sure Jesse has watched those.
What? Oh my God. What? Crash Landing on You?
Oh my God, syempre.
Is it Kingdom? Is the other one? The one that's kind of like a
started Crash Landings, episode 1. Started Kingdom. Episode something. Still haven't gone back.
and then there's obviously like the other ones that are like the Train to Busan, which is more like a movie. But
that's what I want. I love that.
Oh my God, you all like that?
Yeah, my God.
And there's a part 2. There's a part 2 coming.
Ikaw ba madalas ka ba sometimes you'll be mistaken for sure as a K-pop I don't know actor because you're really tall. Because when I met you a few years ago, I was like, there's this guy, a tall, buff, kind of buff skin, like like I don't know, like you're not that you're skinny, athletic. As in, ang ganda ng katawan.
How tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". But at that time, you look like so tall, like you were like. Well, I'm shorter. Well, everyone.
Well, you're the shortest.
Exactly. So that's why.
Wait, Jesse, do I remember it right that I met him first at the 2016 launch of I Am Fil-Am? So that's where you met him too?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. 2016. Wow. Can you imagine 2016 was like 4 years ago?
Can you believe that?
It's like so long ago, but not really, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you have a beautiful date.
I know, that's what I remember. I have not saying anything.
Is she a model? That girl, is she a model?
I was trying to figure out like who at that time.
Oh my God!
No, I know who that is. Duh.
She's so beautiful.
Is it the blonde Swiss girl
the blonde girl?
Yeah, so she's my best friend Layla. She's Swiss. She's Swiss Lebanese.
Oh my God, that's why she's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
Swiss Lebanese. She lives in Switzerland, and then she happens to live. She lived in New York a little bit, and so when she was here, like we just like hung out. So I was like her tour guide because she didn't really like know a lot of people. So I brought her around. Tapos kung may mga adventure ako, tapos ano, gusto mo mag-adventure? Tara. And she was like, sure. You know, she's like,
I felt like you really cute together.
Huh?
You really look cute together. So I thought, ay, jowa niya to. Ang ganda. Bakit hindi mo ginawa? You know what? Later, we'll ask you that question. Wait, before we start asking you a lot of balahuraan question, I don't know if you understand balahura. Oh, it's been a while.
Wait, can you say it? Balahura.
Balahura.
Oh, there you go. Before I can pronounce it. Okay, kayang-kaya na. So so we have to welcome you. We will have to welcome you. Okay? Magto-toast mo. What are you drinking?
Havana Club rum direct from Cuba.
Ooh.
Brought it in February.
Kasi nga, world traveler.
For you guys, you know what? I'm going to make it a special evening and pop that bottle and drink it with you. So, you know.
Wow!
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're so
Okay.
special.
We are so special. It's an honor. We are so blessed and humble. So anyways, okay. So guys, we have to welcome our special guest for tonight. All right. So to everyone who's watching in the Philippines, in the US, all over the world, let's all welcome the cutie K-pop star.
Excuse me.
Who looks like a K-pop star. Dr. Erwin Valencia, welcome to
Over a Glass or Two.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Social pa nung iniinom. Inom tayo game. Picture daw. Ito na lagi naming protocol. Direct JV wants to have a picture before we start the question. So, picture muna tayo, ha?
Picture with
over a glass. Yes, okay, game. 1, 2, 3. Ayan, direct. Ayan, tapos na. Dapat pala gumano tayo. So anyways, before we start, like, I'm sure a lot of people has a lot of questions too. What the heck are those, like, behind you? Ano yan? Yung mga nandiyan sa likod?
Oh, you mean my hats?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, those are like your collections?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've been wearing hats since zero. Like, some of the earliest pictures I had when I was a little boy, my sombrero na ako and any kind, like whether it's fireman hat, policeman hat, any kind of spaceman hat. And I always had hats. And so I think generally I just find myself just wearing hats. And then these are my, as I said earlier, my frequently used hats, my FUH.
FU too.
FU too. Oh my God. So how many hats do you have? So those are your collections.
So these are the ones I use the most. There's a 12 here. And then I have probably in this area, I probably have like anywhere from 15 to 20 in here. And then upstairs in my closet, I probably have another like 40.
Oh my God.
It's an addiction.
Jesse,
if you look on top too, I still have boxes that I haven't even opened yet.
Oh my God. I mean, I love hats, but you are
you are
the Imelda Marcos of hats.
Hindi naman 3,000 ha. Sobra naman.
3,000. And I bet because
when I get to 100, I start donating kasi sobra na after 100, wait, tama na 100.
That's it. So alam mo masarap siyang friend kasi alam na we all know na what to give you during Christmas, during your birthday.
Oh yeah,
hat lang pala.
Especially the more, I think for me, the more parang special or like sentimental it is, I like keeping it, especially if it symbolizes something or if it was given. Like for me, like I said, these ones came from Oaxaca in Mexico that were made by the old ladies that were artisan and they're making it by their hand, and this and the pom-poms that I'm wearing. So it's parang, it's like going to like the back home in the provincias, and it's like the actual people na sila mismo ginagawa. Tapos you're actually like there saying, buying it from them directly, and you know how they're taken care of and stuff. So I think it's important to me that my storya.
Talaga?
And some of them probably looks mahal, no?
Ano?
Always expensive.
Yung akin kasi mura lang. I'm sure mga mahal yung sa'yo, mga hats.
I know, hindi naman. First of all, if I buy them at like Gorin or something like that, sa sale lang, clearance pumunta, di ba? So what I do is wait for the season. Kasi, di ba, seasonal rin yung hats. Kasi like, this is the summer
exactly.
I can't use this in the winter. So pag winter, kini-clearance nila. So I'm like waiting for it to go clearance. I was like, okay, sige.
Oh, smart buyer.
No, I wait for it. No, para syempre, parang we can't make we can't make like tawad naman here. So we just do it accordingly. But these ones, they're I obviously get it directly from my friends who bring it from Mexico itself. So
do you have any hats that came from the Philippines or wala pa?
Wala pa eh.
Okay, we will give you one.
Yeah, I think I have some. Like I think I bought some before, pero I think the problem was like it's tough to bring, and then it's tough to bring when it's over here because when I wear it, then it gets like, especially pag nasa maleta or if I try to wear it and then you put it on top, especially sa plane galing sa Pilipinas, and then syempre lahat ng tao what they do is they stick all the suitcases on top of the tas napipisa yung like hat ko, and I'm like, Uy, teka lang.
Yung hat ko, teka lang.
Because that is how really you should take care of hats. You really have to hang it and display it. Because mine is like one on top of each other. So there you go.
Plus, also it's a space saver. If you do this, the ones you use the most, you save space, and then so every time I leave, I'm like, okay, which one do I use today? So.
Oh wow! But wait, so there's one question here. Si Marigold, Bam, hi. What's your most unique hat? So what's your most unique hat?
Most unique hat. I think for
unique
now,
and your favorite also.
I think the one that's here right now, the one that's most unique for me is that one right there, and it doesn't seem like it's really that unique, but
okay.
And it's really just it's a big Guajiro. It's called a Guajiro hat that came straight from Cuba. That like I got it from like the farmers that farm the tobacco. This is what they wear. So, so it's what they wear pag nasa sun, and then nagpulot sila ng leaves para sa tobacco.
Because it kind of resembles like probably like hats from from Mexico, or probably it reminds me of something where you can put tacos in, nachos.
Oh yeah,
in a dip. Yeah. Now I'm making myself hungry, but I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, he's thinking about food all the time. Yeah, we ate.
9 o'clock.
Yeah,
no?
What about you? You ate? Or you can eat while we're interviewing. What about the pom-poms? What does it signify?
So the pom-poms, it's also from the same ladies. They make pom-poms. They also make candles that they use beeswax that they drip themselves, and like they make it longer and stuff. So this is just like it's for them. It's a symbol of unity. So they put the pom-poms in different places, from like jackets, and you can wear it around you. But then when you see a group of people wearing the pom-poms, especially us, but yung mga hipsters / hippies of like the Lower East Side or Brooklyn and stuff.
Brooklyn and Williamsburg.
We're all kind of Williamsburg, and you're like, magkasama lahat sila. So,
yeah, because you would know, right?
But I know you're coming in here, so that's why I have this too. I wore my anal beads.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Ano daw?
Well, I'm not gonna add anything more to that. I just
Cheers.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Question: where are you located right now? Are you in New Jersey or in New York?
So now I'm actually in my place in Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow. If you know the story and the legend of Sleepy Hollow, it's where during Halloween the headless horseman runs around.
Exactly, the headless horseman. Yes,
headless horseman and stuff. I'm in the town where, if you watch the movie with Johnny Depp and stuff, that's where I am right now.
That's New York, right? Tarrytown, New York. Okay.
It's about 40 minutes north of the city. So I have a house here. Tsaka I have like a crash pad down in the Lower East Side, parang like a little like tiny space that I just like go into.
Yaman.
May bahay sa update, tapos may pad pa sa Manhattan.
Lower East Side pa.
Timeshare yun timeshare.
O kaya Airbnb. Just, oh my, wait. Sa introduction ko like you grew up in different places all over the world. So, saan ka pa talaga nag-stay? Kasi I know you were born in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So when was the time that you started traveling?
I started traveling when I was traveling. I think ever since, even when I was born here, right after I think my first year, dinala na ako ng parents ko sa cruise. Like in Mexico, and like probably within the year that I was born. And sabi ng mommy ko when I was born, kasi may mole ako sa paa ko, na
me too.
magkiti-kiti ako na parang I would be probably the type na parang suwail ng konti na biglang aalis lang ng
you couldn't stay in one place.
I couldn't stay in one place. Yeah.
Okay.
Kiti-kiti, diba? Kiti-kiti was the term.
Yeah, so you were born in New Jersey and then you went straight to the Philippines to study.
No. So New Jersey,
tell us the story.
My mom was finishing business school at Fairleigh Dickinson in New Jersey, and then while working for my lolo, who was like the town doctor, and he actually has a great story with him. He was always the guy that my dad was like, "Oh, tignan mo si Lolo Henry mo. Ano, he came here, with his medical degree, and then he was here for his internships and fellowships. Tapos madedeport na dapat siya, pero the town rallied for him and wrote the state senator and said, "Hey, this guy takes care of us from his own free will. We're supporting him. We want him to stay in this town." So since then, he was dedicated to taking care of people in Lodi in New Jersey, and some of my cousins still live there. So my was someone that my mom really admired, and so my dad did, and so we stayed with them while my mom was finishing school, and my dad was doing OJTs Manhattan after finishing business school. And then I was born there, and then we moved to Houston, where my titas on my dad's side had like a parang import-export business that we ran from we had a business coming from Davao that we had parang kamagong and acacia, and then we made furniture. Tapos pinadala namin sa Houston, Texas. But then after a few months or after a year, we moved to Davao na kasi my lolo got sick, and then my lolo wanted my dad to take care of the business sa Davao.
Oh, so how old were you?
I was probably 3 years old, 3, 4.
Oh, so since 3 years old until college, like you stayed in the Philippines?
3 years old ako. Tapos, I was in Davao. That's at the age of 8. I flew to the US by myself at the age of 8. Kasi at that period of time, there was obviously, alam niyo naman, political unrest was going on in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Tapos, the biggest issue was the fact that malapit na ako makidnap. So, yeah, like there was continuous death threats already, and then it wasn't until a certain period of time na my dad believes, and he still thinks that he believes na nagpadala sila ng casket na the size of my size when I was 7, 8. My mom says, "Hoy, hindi casket yung pinadala, skull na may letter sa ng bata."
Wait,
like skull ng bata.
What was the reason? Why do they want to abduct you?
Kasi Davao was a hotbed at that period of time. Kasi that was the time na, the Marcos regime was going down, madaming NPAs sa Pilipinas, but madami ring mga like this parang rebellion na, ironically, my UP students na nag-rebel sila, but they all based themselves in the mountains in like Mount Apo in the Philippines also. They weren't like the NPA. They were just their own educated faction against the government. So, and they thought that being in the Davao area, Mindanao area, was like for them the best place to be. So, and so it was like very a hotbed. And because of the fact that we were one of the families that had some businesses, and for them, anyone that had businesses, that you were always a suspect and stuff. So they wanted to find a way to get ransom, and it was a big kidnapping and breaking into houses and stuff like that were very common. Pero it was directed towards me itself kasi
you're special.
What happens is my neighbors started getting kidnapped, and then I went with my dad to the office. So when they were kinakaso ako, they were like trying to check me out. They know that I would go to the school. I went to Ateneo de Davao, which was only like within Matina in Davao City, and then I would come back. But I was like by myself, so they were like, this guy would be the easy target because I would play like outside all the time with spiders and whatever. So I was like a free kid. I was a hippie kid. So I can
imagine you're a very cute kid.
Sure, you
curious.
are
I was very curious, but thank you.
Marunong ka mag-Bisaya pa rin?
Gamay lang.
Oh, I'm sorry, my favorite line, Jessie, sasabihin ko na naman.
Yes, go ahead, Jess.
Like what I always say to Visayans that I meet, I know gamay Bisaya, but gusto na ako dako.
Buangin ka,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned gamay, so there you go.
There you go.
Opposite. Dako.
Okay,
Yeah.
dako. So wait, so from Davao, so you flew back. I
And then
mean,
from Davao, at the age of 8, my dad had to send me because we couldn't afford the whole family to move to the States to live with my ninong. So my dad just said they made an executive decision. The safest thing for them to do is send me. So literally, my dad and mom brought me to. They were at Davao Airport, and then my dad went with me from Davao Airport to Manila Airport, and then from Manila Airport, my dad went to Ninoy Aquino and dropped me off to a Japanese Airlines flight attendant and said, your Nining will get you on the other side. And I was like, I looked at the flight attendant, I was like, some Japan Airlines. I was like, you look hot, girl. Yeah, hold my hand. So
the age of OMG.
I was like, so when I was in the
Harris
plane,
is
I was like,
Yeah.
can I get the free parang jumbo jet na binibigay na
Oh,
jumbo
the
jet,
toy.
Yeah.
toy. Tapos can I also get like the coloring books and stuff? And then the people around me would be like, excuse me, little boy, are you by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. Can we help you with anything? And I was like, yeah, I want your dinner roll, please. Can you just give that to me?
Oh my God. Ang lakas na ng apog ng baby ko pa lang.
Oh my God. That was you were 8 years old at that time.
Like 8, yeah. There was, I was like, I thought I was on holiday. I didn't know that all of this was happening with the background until I was 18 when my parents told me that this was a situation. Like when I was 18, my parents sat me down and says, we wanted to let you know the truth of why you went to the US by yourself.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's like an adventure.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Look Me Harris. Do you know Look Me Harris?
Hi,
Yeah,
Luke.
Hi.
Look Me Harris is here watching.
Where?
Hi, what's up?
Look.
What's up, Dudong?
Hi.
What's up, Bay? Kumusta naman, Day? What's up, Dudong?
Luke is my guy. That's my guy.
Really?
Yeah,
you
we
know
used
each
to
other?
tour together. Like I was the MC for South Border when they did their tours.
Whoa!
Yeah,
What's
for South
up,
Border.
Dudong? Small world, no? I
Yeah,
really
and then
love
also
Dudong.
obviously somebody else from Davao, Jinky Vidal.
Yes.
From what her band
Wait.
what's the-
Is that MYMP? Look, help us. Saan si Jinky kumakanta
Hi,
ang anong
E.
band niya?
Hi, E. Hi, E. Hi, E. From Look. Papa Look. Yes, what's up,
Look,
Dudong?
brother.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, ang galing, no?
Yeah.
So, wait, alam mo, ayokong i-fast forward. I want to fast forward. I want to listen to your story like slowly. Papa, look, we miss you.
Oh,
Ayan,
sabi niya,
miss
miss you, Papa Erwin.
Papa
Papa
Erwin.
E.
Yeah, we will call you Dr. E. Oh, diba? So, okay, so what happened? So, so you went to
Ayun,
Davao.
Jinky Vidal of freestyle.
Oh, Jinky
Yes.
Vidal of
Oh my God. We
freestyle.
will
Yeah,
we will
like,
lose
Do you know
a competition.
Wait, Taps
freestyle. Look,
Ramirez?
funny. It's like freestyle, huh? Freestyle.
Do you know Taps Ramirez of freestyle?
You know what's
Taps-
funny? What's funny is the fact
Oh.
that I think for a while I didn't go back to Davao. Nung umuwi ng Davao one time, I went to at that time Apo View Hotel, just to go to Apo View Hotel. I was checking it out. It was a nightlife situation. I wanted to go out. I think I was in college or something like that. And I was sitting down watching, and I was like, "Oh, this band freestyle, pretty cool. All right." And then the lead singer, Jinky, I remember. She walked right up to me after walked right up to me after her show, and she goes, "You don't remember me, huh?" And I'm like, sabi ko, dinate ko ba to? Hindi ko.
Dinate ko ba to?
Pinaiyak ko ba to? Wait, ano ba?
Dinate ko ba to? Ano ba?
She goes, Erwin, I'm Jinky Vidal. We were classmates in Ateneo de Davao when we were like 7 years old, 8 years old. I was like, how will I ever remember that? We were like classmates in like 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. Like I don't remember, but she remembered. She goes,
Oh,
remember
galing.
me? I'm like, patay na. Sabi ko,
Well, that means that she
Naka-clutch
was
ka.
she was looking at you and she
I
wasn't
know
in
she
your
was
radar during
checking
that
you
time.
out, dude.
yeah, at
She
6,
was
7.
checking you out. Oh, yeah. Oh, kids nowadays. Oh, my God.
Habang
Even
naglaro
before.
ng spiders, ganun. We used to play
Oo.
spiders on the barbecue stick.
I know.
Jolen ba? Nag-compete kami sa Jolen nun, di ba?
Oh,
Oh,
Jolene. Oh my God.
That means, Erwin, pinagnanasahan ka na niya.
Yeah,
You're 7 years old
Kaya,
ka pala.
pag na-interview
Habang
natin si Jinky, we're gonna confirm that with her.
Habang naglalaro kayo ng yung mga Jolen na,
Jolens.
yung mga spider na, gumaganon-ganon na sa'yo si Jinky.
Yeah. Yeah.
gumagano sa'yo.
Puppy love. O, diba?
Oh
That
my
was like,
God.
wow, old school. Now that Luke showed up, I'm like, oh my God, this is bringing back so many memories.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Grabe, small world, no? Okay, so nasa Davao ka na, and then
After
you're 8
Davao,
years
I went
old,
to
and then
California, and I went to California, and I lived in San Jose with my uncle. Before California and San Jose was a thing, before it was like, before it was Silicon Valley, everything. At like the age of 8.5, 9 years old, I was working already. I was working as a newspaper boy. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, wait for the newspaper to come at 11 at night, because when they publish it, they would drop it off like in stacks, bahay ng tito ko. And because my dad said, look, it'd be nice if you work. We can't send you money all the time, so maybe if you can get to work. And for me, I was like, cool. It's like, all right, cool. So like 9 years old, and I was like getting these newspapers, and I would fold it with rubber band, put plastic, and then I would like deliver it like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I think if you let kids do that, illegal na ngayon. I think child labor.
But before,
allowed at now.
oh my, how much were you making during that time?
Maybe $5 an hour or something. $5.
Oh, for 9 years old, that's not
Pwede na,
bad.
ha?
Pwede na yun.
Pwede na.
But if I made like $100 in my month, I was like happy. I was like, whatever.
Exactly.
What do you do with the money?
I would buy GI Joes. So
Oh my God. I remember I love GI Joes and Transformers before, but hindi kami ganun kayaman para and I can ask them for extra money, but so I'll just watch the in the toy section, and you can buy it on your own, diba?
Because I was in the States. I was like a 9-year-old in the States, and I worked for it, like because so it was one of those funny situations. And the one thing I remember, my tita, my ninong's wife, my tita Aida would say, because I came from Davao, diba? So I would say all the time. Kasi why is that happening? So my tita Aida would be like, hoy, you better stop saying You're in America now, okay? Stop saying And I was like, why Stop saying Stop saying It was like, I will never forget her saying, you better stop saying but...
So
yeah.
Oh my God, so you stopped saying So you were in California. My God, iba ka napunta. California, how long did you stay in California?
I was there for like 1.5 years until things kind of like subsided with when People Power happened. Nino came, like the Cory came into power. And so things were kind of like cool. When it cooled down, and then I came back home and I went to school in Sanago in Makati. And my parents put me in the foreigners section. But I won't immediately get shell-shocked right away. Para my slow progress going down with regards to learning Tagalog again. And
okay.
I came from Bisaya to English and then to get into Tagalog. So I was my parents had also had to move kasi nung nangyayari what was happening in Davao, out of the blue, because they were saying, they were having threats na they were going to, somebody's going to come to the house and blah, blah, blah. So they left like without really bringing anything except for their clothes.
Oh,
and
wow.
They
okay.
basically started again in Makati. We were lucky that my lolo had like a property that all our families kind of would stay in. It was an office building, and they just put like a small, like one of the offices na ginawa lang nilang parang bahay namin temporarily. And then I was that period of time that my dad, was offered this property, or either my dad or my mom was like, oh, may bagong development yung mga Ayala sa south. Pero ngayon mango grove lang yun. And like that's like, why would I want to invest in a mango grove? It's like just manga. Like when she would go, it's like literally nothing but like
mango trees. Oh yeah,
manga, nothing. But hindi, maganda to. And then they basically scrounged up everything that they had and put it on the property, and built a house there. And with like mga scraps of stuff, they parang like, oh, see, yung tita ko may extra wood, yung isang tita ko may extra cemento, and then like we put it together. And they were lucky because our house was maybe like only like around the corner, maybe 3 blocks from Zubel's gate. So it was a shoe in where we didn't have to need a car to go to school. We just walked to school every day. It was,
in Zobel, right? I mean, in Ayala, Alabang.
Yeah.
Yaman.
Social
Ayala.
Mayday, mga babae dyan. May husband din kausap namin taga Ayala, Alabang.
Tagayala, Alabang. Hindi Ayala, Alabang. Gillage.
Kasi ako lang po taga Alabang, taga Las Piñas po ako, and I pretend I'm from Alabang Hills Village.
Gillage.
Village.
Yeah. I went to social school din, Benedictine Abbey School, pero po, sa Las Piñas po ako umuwi sa Almanza.
Oh my God, Las Piñas. So,
Basic ka, Jake. Okay, and then,
when my parents were being offered property in Alabang, it was like 200 per square meter. It's like,
wow, you guys are so lucky.
300, like literally, like, because nobody wanted to move south. Everybody lived in Quezon City.
Yeah, nobody has discovered the laid back Southerners.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh my! I'm sure your property right now worth it's like millions and millions.
I can only imagine your house right now.
Oh my God! I'm sure it's like.
Is it a mansion right now?
No,
Be honest.
No, it's not. Like house here in the States. Definitely not.
No, in the U.S.
Like everybody else in New York, we're just hustling. We're just hustling over here.
Yeah. No, so, I mean your house in Ayala, Alabang. That's what I'm talking about.
Ayala,
Alabang. No, it was not. It was just that we obviously were lucky to be able to build. They built it from scratch, and they, like I said, they took scraps na kung ano mga extra mga tita ko. Like we even had this old wood na galing Davao that was placed in the back of our bodega, and sabi ng dad ko, gamitin natin yan as like design. So they did. So
how long did you live in Ayala, Alabang?
I stayed there from 6th grade all the way until I left for the States, and so probably I was there really most of my life. If you look at if a person is defined of where he's from the longest time he spent, it would be being in Alabang was the longest time I've spent.
Oh wow. What year how old were you?
Grade to until I finished college. So.
Oh wow. So ang tagal mo rin pala. And you finished college in UP, right?
Yeah. I went to UP in
Talino pala nito. And grade school and high school.
So I went to Sanago grade 4 and 5, and then I went to Isabel when I was 6th grade, which is funny because then that was when I was forced to speak Tagalog na talaga. Wala nang foreigner section, wala na. So I would get into fights kasi there would be people that would be like, ano pa to? Pa-English pa to? Sasapakin ko na to eh. And I could hear them. I could understand them. I just couldn't reply right away because I didn't know what to say that was cool enough in Tagalog,
In Tagalog, yeah.
Because I was a guy that was Bisaya, went to English, and then went to this weird situation, the foreigner section in San Agustin. And then now I'm like, how do I reply? I would be like, whatever, damn you, man. And they'd be like, oh, ganun ba? Ito para sa'yo.
but I'm imagining also like kids in Zobel in Zobel would be like speaking English too. Not so hindi pala masyado lahat.
No, because I remember this. I'm dating myself saying that I graduated. I had my 25th high school reunion anniversary last year. So imagine I started in Zobel almost 30 years ago. So
okay.
if you really think about that, that was a period of time that everyone there was, my classmates were from everywhere. It was all over the South. It was the school in the South that you could go to. So it wasn't, it was, we knew who the Conyos were. Like, clearly,
yes, the Conyos.
Yeah. I had clearly some of the people not in my section, but like in other class were Conyo, and we're like, yeah, it's mga Conyo yan. We know that because they would speak English all the time and stuff. And I was just the amboy, and I was just weird because I was
you're still not in just because you speak English.
Because I was the amboy.
Oh my God, kids are so mean.
Okay. So my classmates immediately identified with me because they were like, yo, this kid is coming from whatever, he's free, he does whatever, we'll help him out. But then the others were like, he's an English-speaking guy, and we're not really sure how to deal with him, which, I got into fights with that.
Tama, ingit din yan eh, kasi syempre, galing ka
sa States and all. Wow. May naging girlfriend ka ba during, like, those years while you were studying in
Actually, it's funny. I was always almost a weird rule for me that I would never have a girlfriend that was from my same school. So I always had a girlfriend, or I dated a girl that were from another school. So it was weird because Zobel was co-ed, diba? But I managed to create soirees with Saints ko, with Assumption, with Poveda.
Oh, shit. How did that happen?
I feel like I'm from LaSalle, but you guys are co-ed. I know, but we're still boys and we just want to meet girls. So
wait, you said
I would arrange soirees.
Ikaw nag-arrange, event organizer ka na nung bata ka? Oh my God!
Oh, okay. Now, okay. That's the reason why.
Lumalabas na.
What really shot me up was the fact that I was a hip hop choreographer. So I started. There was one moment at time. Do you remember yung sa atin uso yung yearbook? Diba
Yes.
Yearbook at the time. So kailangan may yearbook drive. So kailangan mo parang sales event siya. Parang
you get petitions and
yes.
So that was like an opportunity. I don't know what got into me. And my third year in high school, sabi, they were like, hey, if anybody wants to do something for the yearbook drive, we can accept somebody from each section if you want to present, whatever, because it will help the sponsors and the petition, whatever. And I was like, and I don't know what got into me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a dance group and we're going to dance hip hop. Because at that time, uso yung mga heavy metal, Nirvana, Metallica, lahat naka-itim, lahat naka those shirts that people are buying now for $200 each. That was like uso like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
No, you would buy anywhere. Now they're like $200, $300 on eBay. The Metallica
for one shirt. Yeah.
Everybody was wearing that, and I was just the only kind of like hip hop kid. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do something. So I got like 6 classmates who are girls and 6 classmate guys, and I said, look, guys, who wants to join me and do this hip hop dance routine, green, gold, and white drive? And they're like, talaga? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's do it.
What's anong name?
Yeah.
Green, gold, and white. Kasi yung kulay ng Zubel.
Green, gold, and white.
Zubel. Okay.
You can think of a better name, but then you're still a kid, so you pass.
Okay.
I'll give you a pass. Okay.
So I said, you know what? Let's do this. So I arranged like this hip hop. I choreographed this. A hip hop routine to the song "Baby Got Back" by Sir.
Baby Got Back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other birds can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty thing with a round thing in her face, you get sprung. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. So I choreographed that, and then there was a time that there was missing mga 30 seconds, like towards the end, and we only got like a week or 2 to choreograph it. Siyempre, we had class pa and all that stuff. And so they're like, my classmates, they were like, Erwin, mag-solo ka na lang. I go, are you serious? Yeah, kaya mo naman yan eh. Kaya mo na yan. But basically, they just didn't want to do anymore. So I did a solo number. And imagine in Zubel, mga people in the gym mga 1,200 people at the time. So half of them were like, wow, yes, galing, galing. Half of them were like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
hip hopper.
Exactly. Hip hopper.
With the baggy jeans and all this.
And I wore my jeans backwards pa kasi crisscross at that time.
Oh my God.
Cross collars pa yung outfit ko, at that time. And this was the thing. And I just did it. I said, I don't care. This is who I am. This is my identity. And then what happened though, it was an opportunity for me now to then go to all these all-girls schools and teach them how to dance hip hop. And then so I would meet these girls and they'd be like, oh, you guys want to have a soiree? Sige, let's have a soiree. So it became a chain reaction of then like girls teaching him hip hop, and then we end up getting invited to their parties, and we end up having soirees. I'll tell my guys and be like, oh, mga pare, gusto niyo sumama ng soiree? Taga Saints ko? O sige, tara. The problem is, siyempre may kabarkada rin kami ng mga babae. They'd be like, sorry, we're not good enough for you kasi hindi kami naka-blue. Huh?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Nagselo si mga pok-pok. Oh my God.
Diba?
So I bet naging famous ka na sa mga guys. Yeah. So barkada ka na nila ngayon. Ganon ang
You became so famous. Everybody knows you na tipong, ay, barkada.
You're the it guy now suddenly. Yes, because you bring the girl.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it. I was the it guy. It was just one of those, like, I think there was still this weird stigma kasi honor section rin ako. They're like, so this weird thing, they're like, ay, honor section siya. So, hindi siya, hindi siya social. He doesn't know anybody. So it was this weird thing that I had, this chip on my shoulder, that like not only I was outcasted because I was like this American boy, that I was only one of the only few American boys in the whole school, and number two, because of the fact that I was in honor section, there was like a double thing against.
Yeah, like nerd dito.
Kasi sa
double
states lang yata,
whammy.
sa states lang yata yung pagiging you can be an overachiever, you can really be valedictorian, at the same time you're also cool. You can play sport.
Yeah, you
Sa Philippines, you have to be either a jock or nerd guy. Alam mo, it's rarely that you're like both.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so I was also a co-captain of the basketball team. I was also like the public relations officer of the school, and I was also in the choir. I was a tenor in the choir. So it was like one of those things that.
Wait, you also sing?
Yeah, so I was saying I was a tenor.
Oh, you have to sing for us, huh?
Yeah. Shine out.
I'm surprised you're not the class president, the president of the council or whatever.
No, because what happened is my classmate Alan Heason was like, he did Battle of the Brains. He won like the first ever kind of Battle of the Brains, and so we figured that the guy that was ultimately the smartest guy in school would be the class president, and I was the public relations guy because I was the guy that knew all the other girls' schools, because I did soirees and taught them hip hop. So they were
You're the pimp.
I was Vader.
Siya yung taga. Oh wow! And then tapos kwento, go.
So it was the funniest thing, because then imagine a guy who was the guy who danced in the middle, who was the hip hop guy, and then was also in honor section. And then suddenly in my third year and fourth year, my mga classmates, the mga jocks, would see me in like these like yung mga party ng mga taga Assumption, mga party ng mga poeta, taga Saints Co. They're like, what's this guy doing here? But then I would be friends with all the girls, like, because I would teach them hip hop, diba? So we go to like, when it's dance time, we're like, oh, remember the routine I taught you guys? So it's like, they do the routine, diba? Which is the routine. They're like, and then they'd be like, how the hell does he know all these girls? And I was like, you just don't know. Don't.
And I bet they're super pretty too.
Kanyang paraan yan, right?
Wait, do you have still home videos of these dances that you did when you were younger?
No, I think they siguro baka back in the Philippines, para sa bodega ng mami ko, kasi VH siya, di ba? Yung mga VH.
Yeah, VHS or Betamax. Oh my God.
Betamax, VHS, yung mga VH dati. So I don't know where it is.
Look for it and you can just download it into a CD. Uso pa ba CD ngayon?
Yeah, if you go to Costco, pwede pa mag-CD or whatever.
Pwede pa mag-CD, yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so after that, it sounded like your high school.
That was high
school life.
Imagine mo na sa high school pa lang tayo, Jessie. Busog na ako.
Hindi kaya sabi ko, parang ang saya ng your high school life sounded like it's too colorful.
I am so walang kwentang tao. I can't even. Oh my God.
Wala naman pala akong ginawa nung high school. You are, because right now.
You're right. It's. I think what was right, J-Cast, it's like I think inherently I was just an overachiever for life. I wasn't necessarily
exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Like, I had classmates who were definitely valedictorian. My classmates, they were smarter than me. I just like enjoyed life. I said, you know what? Why? My whole motto was like, live life to the fullest. Even before #YOLO was invented, it was just the way I lived.
You already felt that way.
He has that notion already, right? In your mind.
It came from the fact that I went to States, that I was by myself. I was forced to learn how to like cook and clean, and I was laundering. I was forced to work. I was forced to work at 9 years old, and I was
Iba talaga yung sensibility pag dito ka lumaki, di ba?
Yeah, and then when you go back,
plus the fact that if your parents are not like pampering you and teaching you how to, like, hey, you have to start at a very young age. Even if, like right now, like even my son right now. So I don't know if it's good, but I'm trying to teach him like, okay, in 1 week, like we have to, wash the dishes and this, but every Sunday we will give you, let's say, $5 worth of Roblox. His eyes lit and he was like, really? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? But he didn't know that we're doing that. I was thinking like, you're not supposed to give bribe, but I feel like because we were younger, my dad, during summertime, so pinapauwi yung mga kasambahay. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you will have like a schedule, like a household chore, like you have to do this, pero they'll give us like a salary every Sunday. But, at least kahit paano natututo ka. So even my son right now, I'm teaching him like, you have like, we're bribing you for like $5 or $10 Roblox, but you have to. So he was like, okay, mom. So when will I start washing the dishes? So like things like that. Like, so
Yeah.
mom, okay,
Pabor na
yeah.
pabor because the mommy hates washing dishes.
Oh. And now, guess what? You know what? Ito pa ha. Every time they say I'm always in the sala, Mom, why are you so lazy? I'll be, Kaden, can you get me water? Kaden, Baba, there's sweep the floor, please. Can you? And he'll start doing that. Mom, why am I doing this? I'm only 8. I'm like, do you want Roblox? This is your training. And he was like, what about you? I've been trained for so many years, so it's your turn. Okay, fine. This Sunday, promise $5 in Roblox. Things like that. So that's the reason why you are so independent. It's because of, like at the age of 9. Imagine you
Oh.
go work ka na and but wait, so ito high school, right? So you overachiever. You're like, you've done everything. You're like the
You've
most
done a
famous
lot. Oh my God, I
boy.
can't.
I know, parang yung list mo, no?
Sports and
Smart,
educational.
lahat na.
You know
Di
what I
ba?
was doing when I was high school? This.
Oh, dahil chika, ganon, arte. My God. So wait, so after nun, what about in college when you started work? I mean, you studied in UP.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a most feeling ko kung if your high school life was colorful, I'm sure your college life was so much colorful. So tell us about that.
So I will preface this by saying that it started with almost like a proposition from my father. Sabi niya,
Okay.
because initially we thought that, from in a sense the way they trained me, now I'm going to end up going to school to college in the States. So I was slated to go to like UCLA or San Luis Obispo in California because my cousins went there, my ates who were like my mentors, and said they were like, oh, you should go to biomedical engineering or something. I don't know what it was. I'm not really sure I liked it. My dream when I was younger, I thought that was going to be who I was going to be a sports broadcaster. I thought my idol when I was 3rd grade, watching CNN Sports, like way before ESPN, was a guy named Fred Hickman. And I never thought some guy could do comedy while talking about sports until I saw it, in real life, in real time.
Okay.
I said, this is beautiful. This is something I want to do. But my father was very big on what's your, starting at the age of 14, 15, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What's your 15-year plan? And we would have these conversations, either on the dining table for brunch. And the worst part is like me and my siblings would be like, okay, who gets stuck here? Because when my dad finishes dinner and he sparks that one cigarette, you're like, oh no, malalim na conversation mangyayari to.
The talk is happening.
The talk is happening. It's going to be like
exactly
2-3 hour situation, and whoever gets left, oh my God, you're the target. While everyone goes, I have homework, I have to go. But he would make sure that each one of us had time where he sat down, he sparked that cigarette, and he goes, anong plano mo? In 5 years. Anong balak mo pang college? Pagkatapos, what's your plan afterwards? And you're like, but it's daunting if you're 15 and you hear these conversations. But I'm glad that he did, because it puts you in an uncomfortable situation at an early age to learn and think more thoroughly.
Yeah,
Really
exactly. Yes.
I wish I had that talk.
It's very uncomfortable at the time. I mean, so we had that, but my dad and I also had these. I was always laugh because I would title them toilet talks. So my dad and I would have these talks na kasi yung banyo ng parents ko, parang it had like, first when you walk in, it's my mom's parang, where she puts her makeup, parang gonna like her like table pang makeup. And then there's this big parang cemento in the middle where the sink was. And then after that was the toilet. And after that was the shower. So I would sit where my mom's makeup place was. And then my dad would be in his toilet, in his trono, and be talking while he's taking a shit and smoking a
Oh.
I can picture that now. Okay.
So I would sit down and I would be sitting down like this, and my dad would be next to me and he would be like, so na isipan mo na ba anong gusto mong gawin sa pang-college? And then, so I'm thinking, I'm smelling the mixture of
Oh shit, and cigarette.
between the cigarette, between whatever's coming out from my dad's butt, and the perfume, the strong perfume of my mom, that's like right here
At
next
the
to me.
dresser.
Oh my god! It's like what a combination
That is
of
the weirdest podcast ever.
ever. Oh my god! So
Yeah.
what did you answer? What did you answer when
Well,
your dad
it was
asked
one
you
of those things.
that?
I said, I want to be on TV. I want to be a new
A
sports news guy.
sportscaster, yeah.
Dad goes, anak, that's really hard to get. Tsaka, walang pera dyan, and so you need to figure out something at least more certain. Then he would tell me about the stories of my grandparents and how they lost everything and they had to walk the streets with nothing, and they built from scratch everything that we have from our family and what we have right now, and taught me about gratitude from there. And then talked about my Lolo Henry, where my mom and my dad stayed after, when I was born, where he was almost deported until the town of Lodi, basically
Fought
cheered
for
for him
it,
and
yeah.
fought for him because he was a doctor. But if he wasn't a doctor, would they actually fight for him? So
Exactly.
you have to be in a profession that, you're giving to a bigger situation, so then people will fight for you. And I'm like, but I just want to talk about sports, but be entertaining at the same time. My dad's biggest fear was the fact that I would end up one day being this guy wearing like a purple velour like tuxedo as an MC of a cruise ship. That's like my dad's biggest fear.
Well, I think it's still a lucrative career. I mean, if you ask them, yeah.
No,
I know,
before
but it was
yeah.
my dad was like, I've been to cruise ships before. I feel like that's what's going to happen to you. And I'm like, what? Okay.
What a vision from sportscasting,
Exactly.
To
Like,
this thing.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, but what gave me the greatest sense of confidence in the direction I was going to go was while I was my senior in high school. Because I had this dance group that I called, the meaning of brotherhood. And we not only did we teach all girls schools, and we presented during their fairs. We got also invited to like Martin Rivera's Mad Martin Rivera After Dark.
Oh, I love that show.
wow.
Things, and we did other things because then we just want to do it for fun and for notoriety and stuff. But then I also wanted to DJ because I was also DJing. So one day RX 93.1 was doing the Radio 1 for students. So I was in high school and I applied, and then I said I went over there. And one morning when I stopped by, I met Chico and Del and of RX 93 for the
Oh
morning.
my god, I used to listen to
Okay.
them. I love Chico and Del.
Chico and Del.
And they were very nice to me, and Chico and Del were very nice to me. And I asked, and Chico was like, "Hey man, what are you planning to take in college?" And I was a senior in high school, and I was like, I'm still thinking about it, but I kind of want to go in communications because I want to be like a broadcaster like you guys. And he goes, "Dude, don't do it." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "We took communications. This is what we do. This is the only thing we know. You need to do something that will allow you to have a freedom to do something else, and then be able to get you to get money and have stability. Because this job here, all it takes is talent and passion. And if you have it, you don't need to go to college to do it.
That's so
You
true.
need just to practice. You just need to practice. And if you're good and you're gifted, just do it as a passion. But you need something to create stability in your life." And I was like, "What? You're like my dad. Why are you telling me this? Like you're just
Did my dad talk
right
to
now."
you?
I was
Yeah.
like, "You're cool, dude. You're Chico and Del, but I can't believe you're telling me not to do what I want to go."
Not another toilet talk, but not in the toilet this time.
Exactly. It's in like
in
like
the
the
radio booth.
vicinity of the
I know,
radio
we
booth.
were sitting on the radio booth. And I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Okay." So then, ironically, I said, "You know what? Look, if that's the case, then why am I?" Then I asked myself, "Why do I want to be in sports? I want to be in sports because we were surrounded by athletes. Because I was an athlete, but I knew I wouldn't make it to the next level. So I wanted to be in sports. So what can I be in sports? If not a sports broadcaster, then what are the other positions? Could I be a coach? Do I want to be a coach? I'm not really sure. But what are we good at? What am I inherently in myself? What am I personally good at? I'm good at taking care of people. And what does that translate to? maybe there's a medical thing that I can do that'll allow my parents to be happy, because then I can be a doctor that they want me to be, but then be in a position that's kind of still different, but then be able to work in sports. And so this was like a thing that I just, one day, just like I had this vision in my head and I was like, that's it. I watched the Super Bowl, and one day I saw this lady that said, blah, 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 doctor, whatever. And then it said sports medicine. I was like, there's a sports medicine? What is that? So then I just had a vision one day. I woke up in the morning and that's it. My vision was me standing in an arena somewhere where I could see the flashing lights. I could hear the disco sounds. I could even smell the combination of, once again, cologne and hot dogs and popcorn. And this was something that I could feel, taste, I could sense everything. And I said, this is it. This is it.
How old were you when you had that like that dream? How old were you?
I was 18.
It sounded like you were hallucinating at that time, but it sounded like, oh my God, this is it. It's like there's a big bulb on top of your head.
You already visualized it.
Yeah, I visualized it. I really what I want. And there's nobody for me to follow. I didn't have anyone that was Pinoy that I could follow. There was nobody that symbolized it. There was nobody that so I literally at that time, I had to just do research. I had to look at US news, colleges and news. And then I had to look at the library cards and see if there's when you go to the library and you go to you look in something sports medicine, it's wala pang internet at the time. So it was a journey for me. It was a journey for me to discover this myself.
Wow. So it was like a self-thought. Yeah, because usually, for example, a lot of whenever we interview people, successful people, so whenever we ask who are your inspiration and who are the people that you look up to, so they always they mention 2 to 3, 4 people that, oh my God, this is you. I follow his lead, da da da. But you don't have any, because during that time there was no specific a sportscaster that has, that's doing a medical sports, whatever. You did it on your own.
Yeah, I had no muse, and the only thing that kind of got me was literally that, watching that on Super Bowl and seeing that lady on a commercial for a hospital. She was just like, blah, 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 sports medicine. And I was like,
this is what I want.
Whatever that is, that's what I want. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to go to school for that. There's no internet, so I don't even know how I'll be able to research. So I had to just go to magazines and then the thing that I started learning was that there's people that would be sitting down on the bench near the players. And then if a player got hurt, there would be this person in a suit that would be running to the court. I said, whatever that is, and whatever schooling that for me to get there, that's what I'm going to do. And
that we want to hear that story, the journey going to that next step. The next step already. Wait, before that, you became since you met the RX what's their name again, Chico and you became a DJ as well, a VJ.
Yeah. So what happened is so imagine 4th year high school, I meet Chico and Del were like, don't do broadcasting, go to something else.
They're literally telling you, don't do whatever we're doing.
Like your dad. Yeah. I was telling you. Okay.
And then next year I find myself at UP at PGH for at UP physical therapy. And then in my first semester, Channel V, which was the precursor for MTV at the time, was hosting the first ever hunt for the first ever Filipino VJ. And give me 1 second.
Okay, I will. I think he wants to show us. Galing. Sabi pa
This is what this is. It's this was
audition ID.
1994. It's one of my most prized possessions.
You kept it.
I kept it. Yeah. This is one of my most prized possessions. I was in school, and I was such a nerd, so I didn't want to miss school, and I just started school, and I was like, oh my God. And they're like, I are you going to do that? I didn't even know what was going on. Didn't know what was going on. And I just said, you know what? Let's try it out. So me and my carpool mate, who actually is now a great optometrist, a doctor back in the Philippines. Um, she was like, we need to do an audition video for you. And I was like, let's do it. So she was my carpool mate. And one morning before we went to school, we stopped by like a park, and then we decided to like do a video. And the question was like, why am I the next Filipino, the first ever Filipino VJ? And I would be like, because I'm cute. And then I'd be like, because I'm crazy. I'd be like doing these things. And then I would do cartwheels in the park. I would dance. And then I edited that video and I put the video with What a Man by Salt and Pepper. So I did it.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, mighty good man.
Exactly. So I made this video, and I had like the driver hand deliver it to the station kasi baka mawala ng post office, diba? Because never know. Filipinas.
You never know. Yes.
I didn't know whether for a month or two, I didn't really hear anything until one day I was sitting down and my friend goes, "Hey, E, did you see your name on TV?" I go, "What do you mean?" It's like, "You got in, man." I go, "What do you mean?" And so I was waiting on TV, and then it started showing. These are the top 100 finalists out of 1,000 people that applied for the Filipino VJ Hunt. And then my name was there, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is real." And so I told my Chin, my friend, I was like, "Hey, when there's the main auditions is happening like this Thursday or something like that, and I know it's my carpool, but can you be the one to drive and just drop me off there and just leave me there?" At that time was somewhere in Ross Boulevard, one of the hotels in Ross Boulevard that was put up, and that was where it's being held. And I was there, and I was one of the 100 people, and it was crazy. But first, me and my friend Chin went to Manila Cathedral to pray first.
Nagkasal muna kami, di ba? Ang taray, hindi sa Baclaran, nasa Manila Cathedral. Okay.
Manila Cathedral? Parang ikakasal ba kayo ni Chin?
No, sabi ko, "Hoy, magdasal tayo kasi I really want this. I really want this."
Wait, was Chin your girlfriend at that time?
Oh, she was carpool mate.
Oh, okay. So walang no sexual relationship or whatever.
No,
Sexual talaga. No hanky-panky.
Romantic.
No romantic.
Diri-diritso.
Walang bahay-bahayan. Walang bahay-bahayan na nangyayari.
Okay. Walang bahay-bahayan. Okay, go ahead. And then?
So we ended up, she dropped me off there, and then I spent an entire day there, and I was one of 100 people, and we were talking everyone. Tom Lupton was there, which I thought Tom Lupton was the shoe-in first ever Filipino VJ, because he was already kind of doing like VJ stuff. Tom Lupton at that time, Major Tom from NU 107, that was his name. And then at that time, Michelle Aldana was there too. And then who else was there? There was a bunch of people. Joey Mead was there too, and a bunch of other people. And then I knew some artistas and stuff. And I was like, who am I? I'm just a kid. I'm 18. I wear colorful, baggy outfits. And I don't know if I deserve to be part of this whole crew of artistas and stuff. But you know what? I'll just show up. So I did. But the magic that I learned that was the key for me is I entertained the whole crowd. Like at that time, the famous jokes was like, it was something like Little Juan, or something like, was all these jokes about Juan or Sabi ni Juan or something. All these jokes, this line of jokes about this guy, and it was funny. And in the room before all the auditions, where everybody was staying, parang American Idol, where everyone was, I just tell jokes all night and all day, and then I became like a crowd favorite.
You became a jester.
I became the jester of everybody. But then when I came in front of the camera, I was like, bam, bam, bam. And then it came to a point that they're like, okay, we're going to announce, okay, now in the afternoon, it's going to be 100 to 50, then 50 to 25, 25 to 10. And then the top 5 will go to us to Puerto Galera. And next, you know, I'm in the top 5. And next, you know, I'm going to Puerto Galera and I'm hanging out with Francis Magalona. I'm hanging out with whatever. And we're hanging out with them. And it was...
Does everybody, all the 100 people, the 100 candidates, do they have to vote, or
No,
There's a panel of
the
judges.
judges will vote, the producers and stuff like that.
Okay,
But
okay.
then there's also like who was like Mr. or Miss Congeniality, who was like the fan, like whatever.
And you were one of
like a
them.
beauty pageant.
And you
Parang
won.
ganun. I was Mr. Congeniality because I hang out with everybody.
But
And
you got in as a top 5, but you're already like as part of the Channel V VJ as VJ family already.
yeah.
You know what? I love Channel V, so I was like, I think I was watching you, but I don't remember anymore. I have to go back now.
And 1994 yun, JCAS, huh?
So you're using your name Erwin Valencia during that time?
I think it was. I you know what? I have the VHS tape that I need to
Because
digitize.
I love videos and I love MTV and I love Channel V. So
definitely.
I'm sure I'm gonna win and see. Oh my God! I've been watching Erwin all this time.
Wow. But wait, so how old
years ago or 36 years ago? 26 years ago? Yeah, 26 years ago.
So wait, you got picked, right? So of all the 100 candidates,
up 2. So what happened is it came down to me and Melanie Casul, who also went to UP, and me and Melanie Casul. And then in the end, when it came to parang like the bachelors and they made the decision, they're like, okay, as our number 1 choice, we pick. And I was like, this is me. Guaranteed to be me. We pick Melanie Casul. I was like, what? Are you serious? And then what's funny is that they pulled me aside and they said, look, kid, you're amazing. You got energy. We'll put you as like secondary person. Like we'll keep you as our part-time or whatever you want to call it. But you have a bright future. You are somebody that can actually like help people in this world. And we would hate to be the people that change the direction of your life to go into something that is uncertain, because then you do this, you're doing this for like 1, 2, 3 years, but then we've messed up the rest of your college life to then become a doctor and whatever you want to call it, because they kind of saw me as this person already. And at the time I was like, what are you talking about? I don't care. I always wanted to be a broadcaster anyway. So blah, blah. But hindsight, looking back, it was the right decision. I got my experience, but at the same time, I'm able to impact more people with the knowledge and the wisdom and the skills that I have than a brief period. And as we know in the Philippines, your time to shine is like what, 2-3 years. That was
exactly, and then you're done.
Next
to the next,
it was like half Brazilian, half Filipino that comes in and whatever, So
oh my God. You know what? After this, I'm going to YouTube. Because even the name Melanie Casul is ringing a bell. I'm like, why is it not familiar anymore? And like, then I need to look for you as well. Although they gave you the thank you girl loser pep talk. But
wait. So how long did you? Yeah, how long did you become a VJ?
So I was a VJ for them, kind of just on a standby basis. I had like a 1-year situation that I would kind of help out and do stuff, but I wasn't like the main kind of person. Parang pag Miss Universe runner-up ka.
Did they also use you on the field? When
still in the field. So, but what was brought out of that was then a more solid situation for me for RX, because then I was already a VJ status. I wasn't just a student DJ. So then RX gave me like a slot on like Friday nights. I had the Friday night chill out project where, my first song would be like, welcome to the Friday night chill out project. And then the first song that would come out would be like, let me lick you up and
down.
You say me, baby.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So how long did you become a VJ and a DJ? I mean, in RX. So
that was like a span of like throughout my college life, and because of RX, and then I did like promo stuff, like if Johnny Walker had like this like event, and then I would be the MC, and that's how I ended up at some point getting connected to freestyle to Luke and South Florida.
And Luke as well.
You already know Regine Tolentino. Was it also Regine Tolentino on MTV on the other side?
No, that was because she was after na.
After na siya. So
after na siya.
Hindi pala yung nauna.
Because who came after like me and Melanie was Troy
Troy Montero.
Troy Montero.
who was with me in Puerto Galera, but then he didn't get picked. He moved back to Hong Kong. But because he was in Hong Kong, it was easier for them when Melanie's contract was over. They just grabbed him because he was already in Hong Kong.
Yeah, he's in the vicinity. Okay.
He's already there. They're like, hey, Troy, you want to like do this? And then after Troy, that's when Joey Meade came. And that's why Joey, I've known Joey for more than 20 years.
Oh, yeah, you and Joey Meade are friends?
I love her. She's cool.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've known her forever. Like we used to dance in Mars together, and our favorite song was Aaliyah's "Can I Get Somebody." We would have this dance that we would dance with each other all the time in Mars. Like this was 1996, 1997.
Are you still friends with Joey Meade?
Yeah. We did. We've been doing a lot of stuff because she's really into kind of spiritual healing now and stuff. So we did a thing just about maybe a couple of weeks ago on a collective of all the conscious, kind of some of the conscious leaders in the Philippines, and they asked me to be part of that about conscious relating and stuff, and conscious learning and relating to other people.
Grabe, ang galing mo.
Oh my God.
Your life is so freaking colorful.
I can't even believe. I like,
swear.
What?
Cheers to that.
I could have been watching you already, and I was like, I probably have a crush on you because you're probably this tall guy who stands, with like a crush ko to, and now I'm talking to you again like I've never realized. Well, anyway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was weird. That was like a crazy period of time for me because I definitely enjoyed college because then my friends were all these guys that were sent by their lolas, sent by their parents to go home to the Philippines kasi bugoy sila sa States. Tapos they stayed with their lolas. They're all these American boys, and they have a crew. We had a crew going, galing Brent, galing IS, pero matanda na sila, but they're just trying to finish high school kasi they got kicked out. Like, so they were all my crew, and then also at the same time, I was like doing modeling for a bunch of people there because I was tall, and like, so it was rare. I was like, and then I did commercial shoots for like Coke and stuff like that. So it was kind of an interesting time. I had a great time in the Philippines. Like,
Oh my God, your life was so colorful.
Were you also working out na during that time kasi nag-modeling ka?
Huh?
Workout ka na nun?
Yeah. I was already doing it at that time. I was also because I was part of the national training pool for fencing with Goma. So I was already with Goma doing that stuff. So.
Oh wow!
Ano ba to?
You are a lucky dude.
Wait na.
No, I swear you are a lucky dude. Your life seems to be so colorful. Imagine from grade school to high school to college. Like, wow! I feel like what the heck was I doing when I was in high school and college?
It's the power of saying yes. For me, this. I think it's funny because as we go into mental well-being and wellness and mental health nowadays, it's the power of saying yes. And this started for me at such a young age. It started with Taekwondo at the age of 12 and being a black belt. But even before that, wanting to learn about the samurai and the warrior code of Bushido and learning about Shaolin monks and the power of not only this kind of spiritual meditation space, but also this like fighting space of like this yin and yang situation. I was always fascinated by that, by ancient history and all these thought processes. And then Taekwondo helped me kind of make it practical. And then I learned the Silva method when I was 14 that made me like really hone in on visualization and all the other stuff to be able to then know how to like find your purpose. And then at 16, I got the book, The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. A friend of mine just gave it to me. He said, I think you'd like this. And that really changed the way I thought of how life was then perceived. And so since then, this thirst for life I had is about just like saying yes to life. And if it feels good inside of you, say yes. Because you're going to miss an opportunity to not only experience it, but then maybe impact somebody else that want to experience that.
Oh my God, I love that. Jesse, say yes to life. Thirst for life.
Yes, you are. Alam mo, I'll be honest with you. Kasi paano ba? How do you say this? Because there's a lot of people that it's either they're just studious, like they're just bookworm, and then there's some people that are just like, okay, like I want to have fun, I want to be cool, I want to chill, or I'm achiever, but I don't really like studying. But you're like in the middle because you're
everything.
I feel like you are in the middle. You are really a jack of all trade. Like were you a studious kid? Like you have to make sure that because like you have to make sure that wait, I have to learn this. I have to make sure that I have a straight A. Were you the type of person you during that?
Because
During
I wasn't the smartest kid in school. I
you
got
have to
by
strive
because I had to work hard. My classmates were smart. I very lucky I had classmates that my math, I hated
I
math.
hate math. Me
Oh
too.
my God, me too. Oh
And
my God.
my classmates were good and they were like, they're like, hey dude, you know what? I'll help you if you want. And I was like, please, yeah, I love that, man. Because I just can't understand it. And I was very lucky. And I think that's the beauty about being lucky to be part of the honor section is, but it wasn't the fact that we were just nerds and we were all smart. It was the fact that you had people that were better and smarter than you, that you surrounded yourself by. Tapos, they'll help
Exactly.
you when they know that you need help. And then you help them. And
Exactly.
so my gift to them was hooking them up with some ladies from the all girls schools.
Exactly. You know what? Also, I noticed it's because you are so lucky because you are surrounded, you were full of love, and you were surrounded with friends who's like, how do you say this? They're not haters. They don't have that scrap mentality. Who's like, you're striving so hard, you're going up to the ladder, and everyone are envy of you, and they want to try to pull you down. Your group of friends are lucky ka eh. Your group of friends are those people that who tries to to support each other and help each other whatever you have, your strength or your weaknesses. Swerte mo, grabe. Teka, sandali. Before that, I want to ask about, your journey to, of course, to the Madison Square Garden and all. Let's talk about your love life.
Ayun, sabi ko nga pa.
I am so
I
curious
knew it.
about your love life because you're an overachiever person. Like
We were just oiling you up for this question.
exactly.
Clearly, huh?
It seems like
You were
swerte
lubing me up
ka.
for this
Kumbaga,
question, huh?
when God gave all the gifts in the world,
Oh my
you were
God.
one of those people, like one of those people that we interviewed that eto na. We call it like this is the payong,
The
the umbrella.
inverted
And then you
umbrella.
inverted it. And you were just like, while we were all snoring, you were
You
just like,
caught
tulog
all
sila,
of the talents
tulog
and the
sila,
blessings.
kunin ko na, akin na lang lahat to. That's who you are. Aside from that, okay, fine. What about love life? Because this is what they say. If you're so lucky when it comes to, of course, career, your friends, and everything, sometimes they say pagdating sa love life, bokya. Feeling ko you're like balance eh. So tell us about your love life.
That is,
Playboy?
that has
Player?
been love life has been the biggest challenge I think of my life because
Oh,
you're right. As somebody that's an overachiever, you want to surround yourself with great people, and but then sometimes the people that you fall in love with are people that aren't exactly that, but look up to you. I'm a giver and I'm a server. I like to serve and take care of people, and that's who I am. And I think the biggest challenge I've had, which I've done work in and gotten better at, is that the people I'm in a relationship with are people that I shouldn't be helping. And I think more often than not, that's the issue. It's like let's say I live this life, this is what I am. But then the girls meet me and they're like, "Oh, you're a sense of adventure. You got everything. This is cool. So, when you travel, I can go with you, and we can like when you play this team or play that team, I can go hang out when you're in Miami or Chicago, and it's cool." And then they come from more of a parang corporate background. They come from more of like a 9 to 5 job, and so they see an adventure in me. And then the problem is a year comes by, and then they're like, "So tapos na ba yung sabbatical mo?" And I'm like, "Hindi, this is my job." And they're like, "So you're still going to be traveling around like?"
They're wondering when are you going back to your office and your cubicle,
oh, okay,
which you
okay.
don't have because your
This is
working
what I
is out
do.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're
exactly.
always
This is fun.
traveling.
This is cool. This is nice. We get to hang out with like the wives and girlfriends. We get to like be part of this crew. But then a year passes by and they're like, "You're gonna do this again next year? This is this is not just a 1 year parang sabbatical. No, this is what I do every day. Like if I'm gone for a
What?
long time, I'm
Yeah.
gone for a long time." And I think it's hard to the challenge that I personally have been getting better at is aligning expectations and saying, "Hey, look, this is my life, and if this is going to be hard for you, I'm just going to let you know straight up that this is going to be what it is. And if you're cool with it, cool, then we can go on the journey. If not, you know what? We can take this for what it is. Maybe you call it fun. We can just see whatever happens. But if you're looking for a long-term situation, this is what you're going to have to face, because this is the person who I am.
So wait, oh wow, that's gonna be hard, right?
Because it's hard, and so that's ironic, because then there's a time that then somebody said, then you know what, you deserve to find a queen. You decide somebody who's like at the same level as you, who's like driven, who's like whatever, and reaches the top level. And then I dated a girl that was like that, and the problem is her schedule was crazy, my schedule was crazy. So when we saw each other,
exactly,
it was once every like 3 months.
Every Christmas,
when he wasn't traveling the world and I wasn't traveling the country, and then we'd be like, "Oh, let's meet each other in Miami for a weekend."
That's gonna be hard,
and it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
So
because come to think of it, right? Like it's sort of like you're having a relationship, but it sounded like it's an LDR, a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Even though you're at this, let's say you're living at the same
city,
country or city, or even if you're neighbors, but if your schedule will not match, will not jive, then it's not gonna work. My God, I think you know what. I think what you need to have a girlfriend who's like your personal assistant.
No, ano ba naman?
Drag along. Kumaga, you can get along.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You can.
The right word you want is manager.
No.
Manager.
I was about to say you can date your help or whatever. I just want to be bad.
Because you know what? Because I feel like this. Like, it's really a matter of because you're young, right? I feel like it's really a matter of your priority in life, right? So right now I feel like you're like meeting the right person is not really like your priority. Like, oh, you know what? Let me just try to look for a different job. Maybe it's the same, the same department, but I'll be more like, like I'll stay at the same city for like maybe every 2 months I'll travel, blah, blah, blah. But right now you're having a good time. So I feel like right now, just have fun. Or date your PA.
just taste and taste.
Hoy, PA pero kamukha ni Catriona Gray. Ano ka? Super beautiful, sexy, and everything. Smart. Like it could blow your mind away. She will blow everything. I mean, your mind.
Oh my God! Since you mentioned
everything. Cheers!
Cheers to that. Wait a minute. Are you particularly also looking for a Filipino, or not necessarily?
No, I mean, if it comes to what it is, there is somebody special in my life right now. So, it's like one of those like where life is challenging because of the fact of the situation we have right now, and if you don't live in the same city, or even if the same country, or even worse, even the same city, life is really challenging. So, and she's somebody that doesn't like to be in the spotlight by any means, which is perfect. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alam mo, feeling ko ano lang yan, face lang yan no? Like, for now, it's like, it's just a face. For example, like, the girl is just willing to like, hey, we'll work things out, like, I'll wait. I'm doing something else too, but I'll just wait whenever you're here. Because eventually, when you grow older, you would start thinking like, you know what, I want to have a family. Yeah. You know what, I want to, and you already have, kumbaga, nandun na yung status mo eh. Like, you're already stable in everything, financially, mentally. Maybe that at that time we'd be like, hey, you know what, let's settle down. My God,
I think it's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of time, and especially what put a big hunker on any situation is this COVID situation. So
exactly,
make plans because you don't know what's going to happen in the world. And
speaking of that, but how you always go a lot. You have anunal on your paa. So how are you handling that? How did you handle it
by yourself? Like by yourself, like. By the way, Erwin. By the way, E. It seems like you love to talk a lot. So,
how am I handling the pandemic? I'm handling it great, actually.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's allowed me to step into the greatness that I was always meant to step into in this next part of my life as a great test or pilot. the great pause. I always say the great pause has given me the great pilot. It's to be able to pilot test certain projects that I always wanted to do but never got the chance to. It's the chance to be able to find a way to truly impact people back in the Philippines, and be clear on what that means moving forward, and also finding an opportunity to then get out there with my message and collaborate with people who have the same mission to create the same service and impact. So it's been a great time. It's a time of creation more than anything else. I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. I work out like every day. I have a soccer field behind me that I'm there. I get to support people who are going through challenges, with everything that's been going on this past couple of weeks. I continue with my mentorship program that now it involves a lot more people and more clear, and with people from all over the world that are all stuck in their house in a different part of the planet. So it's been a great eye-opening time for me to really step into the magic that I was placed here on Earth for.
This is the Grasshopper project that you mentioned, right?
Yeah, the
mentor and the mentee project.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like,
can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, the Grasshopper Project is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 that started as an initiative in 2013 when I started my first company called Kinetic, which brought education to places around the world with no readily access to it, particularly as it relates to sports medicine. And so the Grasshopper Project was just a way for me to connect the teachers or the gurus that I would fly somewhere, and like a local person to then get connected to them, so at least they have a true bond with each other. But then this past 2 years, when I made it an actual nonprofit, it was important for me then to create like an actual like curriculum for it. So it's a 10-week curriculum. 6 weeks of that is like an online course that is basically me talking about 6 principles of Grasshopper Project, which include gratitude and integrity, and service and all that stuff. And then 4 weeks of actual coaching between a mentor that is somebody that I know, that I vetted myself, that's a colleague and a friend, that is a service-oriented person, that works in professional sports somewhere, and that is a overall good person, a driven person, and then connect them with somebody who is kind of in the same frame but younger and it wants to get to that position. And so it's 4 weeks of that, and I do Zoom calls before, in the middle, and after, just to kind of like make sure everyone's in the same kind of mind frame. And it uses a lot of prompts and challenges. And then in the end, it's a support group. So now we have a community that I graduated my first cohort 2 weeks ago on my birthday. And
wow, belated happy birthday.
Grow. So I will learn, reflect on how I can make it better for everybody, so that the next cohort, which will probably be in the spring or in the fall of this year, how can I make it better? And what is the better things? And then, but besides that, I also mentor people that aren't part of the Grasshopper Project. I mentor probably about anywhere from 10 to 15 people from around the world.
So in the Grasshopper, the mentees are these underprivileged, or not necessarily? You just have to be young and you're hungry, you have a thirst for life, and you just need a mentor.
So it's
like a life coach. It's like a life coach.
It's kind of like a life coaching program, but it's more of a purpose coaching program. So most of these kids are either finishing college, B just about to go finish high school, going to college, from college going into grad school, from grad school going into their first job, or probably trying to switch careers even. And they, for me, the important thing for me that I feel like I can help are people who are A, underprivileged, B, from migrant families, C, from underserved communities, and D, those who just have that sense that want to make a difference in this world. And so for me, that's what I vet more than anything else. What kind of person are you? And can you be the next thought leader and change maker in this space?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, Jesse, I'm 40, and I still need a mentor. I seriously, but Jesse, I still need a mentor.
Oh my God, yeah, he needs. I'll be honest with you, J-Cat is one of those people that you meet. Like, he's very, very, how do you say this? Very talented person, right? He has a lot of things going on in his mind, but the thing is, executing
and
is the number one problem. Yeah, in Scott. I think maybe you're tired of listening to me and direct. Maybe it's time for you to talk to Dr. Erwin Valencia.
I'll be listening to E like this.
I know. No, because I feel like because with JCast, like he's really good in everything that he do. But the thing is, it's just someone. I mean, I think it's because we're like brothers and sisters. Like we're like, he's so used to us. So probably he feels like whenever I try to talk to him and push him to do everything that he wants and to push his ability to do better, probably he thinks like, I know. Oh my God, you keep on calling. Probably he thinks like I'm nagging, though I'm not. So I feel like he probably needs someone that was like.
No, I don't think that way. It's just like I'm just.
I know.
I'm part lazy as well, and just let it.
He is.
Just letting the universe flow
through
let
you.
me, yeah.
Because
I wouldn't be in here if not for this bitch right here. She would be the one. She's taking me along for this beautiful ride.
I always push him. Like when we had an interview with you with I am Fil-Am. That was like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's 4
Yeah,
years.
no. I'm sorry. We're supposed to, right? But when we met you, right? So with JCast, like I told him, like he's a good writer. I just noticed, and he has the ability to host, and he doesn't believe in himself. He was like, I was just like trying to like courtship, JCast, you can do it. You can. He doesn't believe in himself. Like sobra, parang Pinoy. Talaga, I have to really like talk to him and made him realize that you have the ability, but you just have to just do it. Like do it, because I'm a go-getter. I mean, I'm like you, but I'm not. I'm a go-getter.
The two of you are the same. Yeah.
The thing is, you are more. You're like, come on, let's go. Like I'm the same way, but not
Let's do it.
Yours is more like 1000%. Maybe I'm just like 100.
You're the go-getter. He went there. He already did.
Like, go
He's on his way back and forth.
Exactly. Ako naman papunta pala. So with JCast, I feel like this, because sometimes about within the family, if somebody's telling you all the time, it's just like, okay, fine, yeah, I heard it so many times. So it's better for someone to like talk outside the box and outside that shell, and then to make him realize, to understand, to comprehend that, hey, this is reality, this is what's going on. I feel like that. Like for example, like ako, like with my mom and my dad, whenever they talk to me, I feel like sometimes it's like, oh my God, you're nagging, keep saying this. But whenever my aunt or my during that time, my significant other, not even my aunt or my one of my cousin, or whoever, that people that I look up to, sometimes I don't know them, but I just know that they have the knowledge to mentor. That's the time that I listen. I'll be like, you know what, made sense. And then my dad will be like, I told you that so many times. Oh, you did? But it was just like, for me, it was just like, you're freaking like talking too much. So I feel like people like that, like they need really someone like you who can mentor and talk to you. Like, siguro you have to use, yung mga highfalutin words like you do, Erwin. for someone like JCast to listen.
It doesn't have to be highfalutin. I think there's the commitment there is more, and this is from the coaching and from learning from going to coaching school, in a sense, is that it has to be, number one, one of the biggest rules is that when you're going to coach somebody to push them forward, the relationship you have should be something that's truly a committed relationship where it's, you can't be friends, because it has to be almost a business situation. When you want to get pushed truly and upgrade your life, you have to, in a sense, have skin in the game. And if it's a friend, if it's somebody in your family, you'll have a tendency to say like, oh, well, we're friends and I don't want to, you're just kidding them on, or they want to take it seriously. But then if A, you pay for it, or B, you're doing some sort of X deal or something like that, then you have something to lose to gain something. And I think that's exactly what a lot of people forget, is that it's like, as with anything else, it's professional. It's a professional help that you need. That's why people see therapists and stuff. You can talk to your aunt all you want. You can talk to your tita all you want. But if you really want to make a difference, you have to like put your skin and put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. You're right.
You're right.
Plus, the thing is, you won't feel like, because sometimes if you talk to your, let's say, even to your best friend, sometimes like whenever they say something about, like, it's just they mean well, but like you feel like they know you too well, so sometimes you feel like you're judging me, right? Like, oh, you
Yeah.
feel like sometimes you're
There's
but
bias. There's
honestly,
bias
but
there.
they're not. Yeah. So I feel like it's better sometimes, like, you talk to someone who doesn't know you,
Yep.
like, as in zero, doesn't know shit about you. Like, even if you say, you know what, I had sex last night or whatever, he's not gonna judge you or anything.
We're really going there, huh?
Exactly.
We always want to go there. Yeah.
Exactly. We always want to go there. Okay. Anyways, okay. So we'll talk about that. Your mentorship and everything, because we want to hear a lot. I'm sure a lot of people would want to are curious to know. Is there a website so JV can
It's
what's the website?
The grasshopperproject.org. So
Grasshopper.
do I type it on here? Do I just type it on here?
While you're typing it, bakit nga ba grasshopper?
Yeah. Why is it? Yeah, bakit grasshopper? Bakit?
Grasshopper kasi it's parang from Kung Fu, diba? Hello, you little grasshopper.
Oh no, my God. You're such a nerd now. Oh my God. Yes,
Right.
Oh my
From there.
God.
It's going back to martial arts.
Oo nga pala. So you just like,
No,
from
remove
one
the the. Remove
Oh,
the
the.
It's just grasshopper.org.
so fun. Oh my God.
Grasshopperproject.org. Yeah, remove the the.
Oo. Walang the. Pero wait, so okay to. Ito huli na natin pag-uusapan na. Kasi I'm so curious. Kasi nga, we were like so curious earlier about, how you made it. Like, because where we want to pick your brains, because obviously you're very successful.
There's a lot to
your
pick.
life is so colorful.
Oh my God,
There's a
I'm
lot
telling you.
to pick on.
Our
Sobrang
time is
dami.
not enough. I'm telling you already.
I swear. Kahit 2 hours na tayo, pero ayoko
I know.
pang
Is this okay?
mag-end.
I think you're
No,
thinking
this
it's going to be an
this
hour.
is a podcast, and oh my God,
Hell yeah. It's okay, dude. It's okay.
I love listening to you and
We're
talking to you
learning
and looking
a
at you.
lot from you. Oh my. Kanina sabi namin, Jake, kasi tsaka ni Direk, we were like, you know what? I feel like this is going to be more than 2.5 hours. Because while, reading your your website and everything, I'm like, this kid is a jack of all trades. He has so many things on his plate.
Madaldal eh.
Ang dal-dal mo, and we pick your brain.
I just need to mention before moving on. I watched your 2014 TED Talk I think in Sarasota, and I'm sorry, but the title got me. And you know how my brain is already so green, right? You know what the title is? My God, Room for Cream, Understanding Load. I was like, what? Let me click this.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That's
The importance of understanding load.
of making room for cream, understanding load. I was like, oh my God. Everything, the load on my face is like the memories are going back. Anyway, I just want to mention that. Okay, memories.
Lahat ng lubes lumalabas, Jake.
Oh
my God.
I thought you were talking about something else, but it was a clickbait for me. And I did finish the 11 minutes.
It was
I got it.
Watch that. Oh, my God. So wait. So let's talk about your journey to, paano ka napunta doon? To like the Madison Square, to the NBA. How did you get in? Paano ka imagine mo, you were just one kid. When you were like younger, you saw this on TV that, oh my God, whatever that is, I want to be that person. And then, okay, let me do physical therapy. And then you became a VJ and you became this and wow. And then all of a sudden NBA, wow, New York Knicks. I mean, who does that? Damn, dude.
You're the only one. You're the only one for now. Hi, Cory. We miss you.
Cory.
Oh. Teka, by the way, sabi pala ni Lali, my ex-BF boyfriend for 4 years is from Davao in Obrero, across Stella Marie School. Ha, handsome guy too, like you. Ang ganda. Oh, Lali. Oh, yes. Oh, mahilig yun sa matangkad at gwapo. Ayan
Lali, tignan natin kung may papakita niya yung abs niya kasi araw-araw daw siya nag-workout.
Oo nga, patingin nga, pasilip nga. Tayo lang ha, pasilip lang. Sana 6, di ba? O 8 pa ba? Meron pang extra.
Do you know? I'm sure you know.
365 days ba?
I know you probably know Jeremy Johnsey.
No, I don't know Jeremy
Okay,
Johnson.
anyway. So parang kasi gwapo rin yun, nag-lift ng weights, and then parang nagte-TED Talks din siya, and who travels. Jesse, yung boyfriend ngayon ni Pia Wurtzbach.
Oh,
Jeremy Johnson.
Oh, sige.
Beautiful vacations.
Beautiful destinations or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not
Okay, so
Filipino, huh? He's Scottish.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not.
But he's kind of
okay.
dark, so I thought you sometimes think that he's Filipino, like something
I
Filipino.
want him. Well, I want him to be Filipino.
Like I feel like he looks like he's half, but I
Pero
feel like
hindi,
Yeah, like you know, like the usual actors, half something and half.
but he's
Filipino.
really, I think he's Scottish or something like that. So.
something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
but he's getting into a Filipino right now. Pia Words back. So that's the same thing. So
Oh, ganun na rin yun. Pwede na. Magiging Pinoy na rin yan. Kakain na rin yan ng adobo, isaw, lahat na.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
yes,
God.
it's that kind of show.
It is that kind of show.
You know.
You know what's funny is that when Pia used to live, we used to live in New York, and she would do all these things where she was here for Miss Universe. I would be in the green room with her sometimes, and I would just help hold her glass of wine because I didn't realize how hard it is. It's like a show pony. You're literally like every 5 minutes you have to say and look like you're perfect. Every 5 minutes, somebody new comes in, say hi, you meet, and the next person, next. And then next, and every time is your first impression for somebody. So you have to be perfect every time. And at one point, she was just so tired, and I was like, "You need a drink." And I was like, "Yeah." And then she would drink, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the part of things that people don't tell you about when you win. It's like this is the job." And I was like, "Well, so I have to go again. So here, can you hold my drink?" So I'll be holding as she does all these like, "Hello, hello, 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 hello." And everyone asks the same questions every single time. And it's challenging. I didn't realize how challenging it was in the background. And I was there in the green room with her.
Yeah,
So.
what were you doing with Pia Words back and holding her drink in the green room?
I was hanging out. It was me. It was her. It was like, I think it was Apple the app that was there. It was like,
Oh, wow.
just peeps. Like when we were in like different events that were like Filipino-ish events that were then maybe like fundraisers or things that were like business stuff that were like trying to like drum up.
Did you ever try to ask her number and try to?
That's what I'm going to.
Well, you know what's funny is that her handler was so strict. Like she would always invite me to go to things, but she wanted to make sure that I called her first. Like, so I would never get Pia's phone directly.
You couldn't get through her directly, but yeah, through someone else.
But then her handler, she was very sweet. But she would always invite me. She would have my number and she would be like, "Hey, Pia is going to be here. You should come over, blah, blah, blah." But she would never give me, and ironic because of course, years after that, Kat came into the situation. And
Katrina,
of course, not a Filipina. And then Kat went to a game, and I said, "What's up?" And then her handler looked at me and she goes, "I know you." I know you. And then I gave them like backstage, VIP passes and stuff like that. Then we chatted in the back and stuff. And Kat was really cool because Kat had some projects that she was doing that were like charity work and stuff. So we connected with a lot of the charity work that she was doing that she wanted to do.
Oh, nice. So did you ever get a chance to get her number too and ask her on a
No,
date?
it was the same thing. It was the same, like her handler was like, "If you want to talk to Kat, you hit me up and I'll let her know."
And you let her know. Oh,
so maybe the handler is the one that wants you.
No.
I have a dirty mind. I think about that.
Baka naman bari pa siya. Baka naman sabihin na,
Oo nga.
"Here, get my number and talk to me." Kasi ikaw ang type ko.
You have to go through me first, literally.
Oh my God.
Before you can go to Pia.
Yes, you have to taste me first.
Oh,
Before you
went there.
can.
Not her, not me. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Oh my
Taste
gosh,
me,
you guys.
taste her.
You guys are so crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What is going on in this world?
I know, right? Oh my God. Teka sandali. Before mo ikwento yung journey mo to, to Madison, like dun sa journey mo sa NBA and all. Sandali. Baka naman pwede kami pag nag-open na ulit. Pingin namang VIP. Patingin naman.
Pwede ka na magamit.
Patingin naman ng NBA.
BFFs na tayo dito.
Ay, lagot ka sa akin. Ako, you don't need my handler because I don't have one. So,
Yeah.
I know your number and we text each
Diretso
other.
na ba? Diretso?
Diretso na dung. So, I'll be like, "Dude, I swear to God, I mean, I'm outside your house." So, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
No, of course, you guys.
Really? Yeah, Jay.
Yay! Oh, hindi ako mahilig in-invite ako niya sumasama, pero kung
Kasi
dahil
we will watch
bigay mo, I'll go. You don't need to go to a handler. I will handle you.
Cheers to that! Sige!
I will handle the whole New York Knicks. Kaya ko yan!
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That would be that's a Tuesday night.
Masakit sa pangayan, Jcas.
I know. My God, Jesse, I need help. Charot. Ay, naku,
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
tell us, kasi you're so lucky talaga, I swear. You're like one of those people na God really gave you. Yeah, all your life. Talagang throughout your life, you're like one of those lucky.
I feel like the people listening and watching to
exactly. Gumaganon siguro. My God. Teka, before mo sagutin, do you have haters and bashers?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
Right? I don't think so. I think everyone loves you.
I think it's because, I kind of keep it where I keep it, number one, I keep it neutral. I don't take sides with anything. I only take sides if it obviously hurts people's basic freedoms more than anything else. But even if it's from that standpoint, I come from it from a positive aspect of things. I try not to look at the negative things of how things go. And so that's probably why I hope I don't have haters. I don't know that I do.
Exactly. So, I don't think so. I think parang kang cute teddy bear na everyone wants to have. Come on, come. I want to be your friend. Care Bear.
I think I had a lot more haters when I was younger, when I was in high school. I was a hip hop guy.
Yes, exactly.
Because they just didn't understand what that means, which is really kind of funny because later when hip hop became more popular in the Philippines and everyone was a hip hop person, you're like,
exactly.
I remember when you were hating me.
I know. Ako yun. Nauna ako.
Nauna na ako. Like, I was fine.
I was wearing the same baggy jeans.
Exactly. It became a big hit, no?
I think this is the 90s. Oh my God, we're like traveling back in time in fashion too.
Oh yeah, with like
color blocking, right?
Parang cross color.
Oh my God.
Kulang na lang Gerbo jeans yung kulang mo.
Oh, Gerbo!
Gerbo jeans is exactly it.
Gerbo! Oh my God.
Kulang na lang yung Gerbo mo, di ba?
At saka Giordano ba yun sa Pilipinas?
Giordano shirt? Yeah, but Gerbo was the one that was...
Gerbo was the one.
Like, kind of baggy, but not super baggy. It was like wide kasi, di ba? You had the thing in the middle. Kind of like...
Yeah, it's like hanging.
Naalala ko yung Gerbo na yan. Uy, ang mahal ng Gerbo, ha? Daddy ko sa nasampan. Oh my God.
Stop mo na kung muna sa
10,000 pesos. Di ba? 15,000, something like that. 8,000.
Hindi mo masyado ganyan. Pero
okay naman. Ano ko medyo mahal. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about bags. Sorry. Like 5,000.
No.
Like 3,000, something like that. 3,000.
Not 3, yeah. Siguro mga 3. Like I say when I went back, my favorite pair right now actually is Gerbo jeans. When I went back to the Philippines, 2 years ago, I went to like Glorieta. Tapos I bought one on sale for at that time it was like 1-2. Nag-clearance sila 1-2. I was like, perfect.
Oh my God.
May Gerbo pa? Sabi ni Lalio.
Yeah, may Gerbo pa. May Gerbo pa ngayon.
Oh,
Philippines.
We gotta get it. We gotta get some. I mean, when you mentioned it, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Kasi yung tela niya, malambot yung tela niya.
Talaga?
Wow. Sale siya pag sa Philippines, which is really funny kasi nung it was uso in the Philippines, and I would fly to come back here to the States, I would find it at Marshalls and Ross and TJ Maxx, for like $30, and the Philippines were going crazy for 5,000 siguro at that time. And sabi ko, why are people buying this when here you could buy for $30? It was really kind of funny. Yeah, see, Lali goes in Glorieta in Alabang Town.
I miss ATC. Oh my God.
Lali, I didn't know that. O sige, pag uwi namin, maghahanap kami ng Gerbo. Deja vu, no? Ang peg.
Lali's in the know, she's in the know.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Oh, Lali, okay. Pag minit namin siya, we will take you with us. Kasi mahilig yan sa player. Hindi siya player, pero mahilig siya sa player. Ang ganda niya, Diyos ko, Lord.
Boy, parang that night when I went to the that thing at the embassy when yung mga titas of New York were hounding me. That was crazy. Dude, crazy. That was a crazy night. And it wasn't even for me. It was for like basketball players. And I was like, patay na.
Oh my God.
I remember that. And like, I was with Leila. I remember that was the night. And then I remember being there. And then I had yung mga matitas. They all went around me. And they were like, oh, ano, Erwin, ireto mo naman kami. I was like, tita, to who? Ano, like, I'm not that kind of guy. And it's like, nee, ano, pa-player mo naman kami. Pa-player naman. And I was like, oh my God. Are you serious? Like, do you really want? And pero ano, gusto namin mayaman ha, mayaman. I was like, what? But you know the NBA players, and you guys are like already divorcees. You already have enough money. You don't really need that, you know. And then they were like, oh wow, let's go to Marquee and PhD all on me. What?
Wow, VIP table. Wow. Mayaman si Mamash. Diba?
Big time si Lali.
Big time si Lali. Oh,
ayan.
Teka, sandali. Okay, si Derek talagang excited.
So the titas would be like, ano reto man kami? And I was like, okay, that's okay, cool. I'll see whatever. Pero ano, gusto mo mayaman. Tsaka ano, they would look around. They were like, ayaw namin ng itim ha. And I am like,
very Filipino.
I was like, what?
Oh my God.
I was like, tita.
Nahulog ko yung ano. Nahulog talaga yung BBC, oh.
I go, but you know, most of NBA guys, you know, they're
team.
Oh my God.
Like, I go, tita, but ayaw naman, you know, and they were talking about like, I had like 4 titas around me, and they're like, bakit ayaw nyo? They're like, kasi masyado malaki.
Oo nga, oh, ito.
I was like, oh no.
Oh my God. Again, dahil ito na Erwin, now I have a joke for you. Diba they say once you go black, you can't go black?
Oh my God, yes. Oh.
Ako iba. Ayoko rin Erwin ulit mo kasi once you go black, I need a wheelchair.
Oh no.
Kasi alam mo hanggang saan? Malapit sa tuhod. Tapos gumaganito-ganito pa, oh. Gumaganito.
Oh, another one. I want a boyfriend, not a tripod. Charot! Oh my God, we can go on and on.
Oh my God. So the problem is, so yung, I was like, oh my God, I have to leave. So actually at that time, who was there for the press? Was pulled me. He heard that was what happening. So he grabbed me. He's like, oh, Erwin, we have to like do an interview outside. So ni-rescue ako sa mga tita. So me and Leila were like walking out with our friend. We were walking outside there. And then, kasi we're also with Christine, who is a Rocket, the only.
Sineki. Yes, I know. Her interview with her. Yes.
Sineki with her mom, and then Leila, we were all leaving. So I forgot who was trying to like rescue us to kind of leave from the titas like realm kasi in occupy na ako. So I was leaving, palis na ako. I let Christine and her mom and Leila leave, and then I was the last person there. And then one of the titas was running. She was the smallest one pa from the titas. She was running to me. She was, Erwin. I was like, oh yeah, tita, what's up? Sabi niya sa akin, ako okay lang sa akin ha. So
may pahabol pa, oh my God. I love the titas in Manila.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Ako, okay lang sa akin ang malaki, ha?
Basta, I could be part of the tita.
I need to go right now. I'm so kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this right now. I'm kind of embarrassed. I just don't know about this situation. I'm like, I don't know how I can help you, but like, I'm out.
You did not sign up for that, okay?
Oh my God.
They were using the whole fact like, pag nag-Independence Day kami, si tita yung head ng parade para dun ka sa taas.
Oh, float, ganyan.
Wala. So they were like all like framing this, and then the question came. Yeah.
Yes. The ulterior motive ng mga maliliit.
Ulterior motive pala.
Malilibog lang ang mga tita.
Maliliit pala. Gusto ng first aid kit sa first night.
God, I was like, oh no, I need to go.
No, wag to. Just go.
I can't anymore.
At least all I can say is probably me and Lali, we'll have a drink with you first over a glass or 2, 3, 4, 5,000. Then we will ask, hey,
Gusto ko na.
Alam mo na, Erwin, ha?
Oh my
Paano
God.
naman kami?
Oh my God, Erwin, nakakaloka.
I love it. Oh
One
my
of my,
God.
and that literally was what? That was 4 years ago. So that was only like my second year, I think, or that was my second year in in the sports here. So it was like really like I was still like on a high, and it was like life was good, and I was like, at the time the embassy was really big on a lot of like people. My brother was active, and also because my brother was part of. But that was when Consul was Tess I think was because of the consulate there. So she knew my brother really well. So I got invited to all these events there and stuff like that. So it was really one of those.
Oh, I wanted to read that.
Chicas, di ako maisip, baka
Oh my God.
I'm so...
Lali, mag-usap tayo. Gaano ba kalaki yan?
Oh
Oh my God. Well, anyway, bago na punit, anong sabi?
This went
Oh my God.
direction. A whole different direction.
I know.
We can talk about everything at the same time.
That's what I love about everyone. Yeah, because we can talk about everything, anything under the sun.
Gosh, this is so crazy, you guys. This is so crazy.
Oh, mamaya natin pag-usapan, Lali, kung ano mapupunit. Mamaya na.
My God.
Right? Oh my God. I know you're perceiving.
Yeah. New York.
I know, right?
Oh my God. Story. Oh my God.
Okay. So you were talking about your brother. Okay. So they know your brother.
So yeah, then my brother, because my brother was very active in trying to promote the kind of the New York entrepreneurs and then technology stuff, and to be able to then connect them with the Philippines and all that other stuff. My brother and I are both go-getters, I guess is the right word. My brother does it in tech, and I do it in like in the personal space, and it's personal growth space. And I think it's been kind of funny to in a sense tag team how we can create bigger impact in the Philippines. And so ironically, like he's creating a company in the Philippines that does microfinancing with the help of 7-Eleven, using technology and AI and all that other stuff, create microloans for people through 7-Eleven.
Oh wow!
And so he's part of this new accelerator called Techstars now that like is helping him groom this and get investors and all that other stuff. Then meanwhile, I'm creating it from the social enterprise space and also from the social impact and also the health and wellness and mental health space. And so it's been kind of interesting how we're both kind of finding our way to create impact and serve Filipinos, but we just have a different direction. It's been fascinating because this next month I'm gonna take a couple of weeks to just chill out. As you know, I'm gonna go on holidays, and then I'm gonna go full on. I'm creating like a whole crazy kind of campaign on using TikTok to then
you mentioned
a lot more positivity to mental health and to champion the mental health space in the Philippines with a whole campaign called Naranasan Mo Na Ba? So
wow. Wait, how will you execute that, like that TikTok with
for positivity and
positivity. So like
naranasan mo na ba?
The scripts are like naranasan mo na ba naranasan mo na ba na mag-break kayo ng boyfriend mo or ng girlfriend mo, pagkatapos you felt alone and you felt like wala kayong makausap. And so, and then I'll say like, and then I'll talk about according to the statistics, this many people that end up going breakup will find themselves getting depressed or something like that. But those who find themselves having support groups always have a better outcome, or whatever you want to call it. And then our tagline will be like, hindi kayo nag-iisa. So it's like, finding a way to positive with this campaign that we're going to do for about a whole month of creating videos. And then that's my mornings, and then my evenings will be a wellness hack, something about like sleep or eating well or exercise or movement, or just something hack and a quick thing to be like, get sleep is important. Make sure you get your 8 hours of sleep if you really productive and efficient, and make sure you sleep from 10 to 2. That's when your human growth hormones like really like activate you and do these things. And then after that, if you can't sleep and get a good night's sleep, take naps and take 30-minute naps, or take an hour and a half nap, depending what your goal is, because then they will equal this, and then that's your wellness hack for the day, and then next tomorrow. So,
which is also you're going to do on TikTok as well. That hack.
Yeah, it's all based in TikTok and TikTok, but then we're gonna populate it through everywhere. It's going to be on Instagram, it's going to be on Facebook, it's going to be on channels of Buy TV in the Philippines, and they're going to spread it out. So my production crew back in the Philippines is Buy TV out of Cebu.
Oh my God!
Wow!
I love it.
Ang galing, no? Kasi parang the way I look at it, from my understanding, the way how I comprehend it, it's like you're combining like the holistic way of looking at life, like and at the same time, science and the scientific way, and also your knowledge about what you've learned from physical therapy. So it's like a combination of everything.
And using social media at the same time,
through
to reach people.
The social media platform. Ang
Yeah.
galing.
In the end, the biggest goal really for me is how can I impact 1 million Filipinos, but as it relates to the health and wellness space, and that relates to mental health and well-being, and I think there are Filipinos that are doing that right now, but a lot of them are either in the very heavily spiritual space, which I respect because I'm kind of in that space too, but also or B, in the heavy scientific side, in the psychiatric side. And I have nothing against psychiatrists and psychologists, are great, but I think they tend to find themselves always talking about the negative side of things, and always talk about or
the drugs that they have to take or whatever. Probably,
or like depression. Ito ang definition ng depression. Nade-depress ka ba? Depressed ka ba? Feeling mo ba depressed? May nakita bang friend na depressed? May friend ka ba na depressed? May tita ka ba na depressed? So by the end of watching their talks about depression, madi-depress ka na.
Exactly, that's true. It makes sense.
Instead of finding a way to take it as an experience and tell a story about it, and then people will say oh, I think I know what that feels like. And you don't even have to put a label of saying you're depressed. You're just saying that feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
And through that feeling, and how to then say, hey, look, you're not alone. This is you're not the only person who's experiencing this.
So where are you getting all this? Because it sounded like you're giving an advice, right, to everyone, and giving tips and how to. So where are you getting all these ideas? Is it because of course, experience in life, right? And through all these years, like yung mga tawag doon hugot,
or yung mga nakasalamuhan mo mga tao, nakikita mo yung statistics is more on dahil nga maraming mental illness within the Filipino community na hindi napapag-uusapan, yung ba yun? Or maybe, sometimes all of us are also struggling with that, natin.
Multiple sources. Number one, ancient wisdom, things that I've learned from the beginning, the samurai warriors, the Shaolin monks, the ninjas, and the code and integrity and the code of honor that they follow and what they need to do to become resilient. Looking at some of the experiences I've had as I travel around the world, even places like the Philippines, and seeing these people na one day may bagyo, may baha, pagkatapos 3 days after things subside, my Christmas party, but with a smile on their face, and you're like, how are people? How
switch from there to there? True.
And then same thing in Cuba is the same way. Cuba, where you can't leave the country, you're stuck there, but how do you make yourself feel happy? And you go there, and people say, look, there's things I can't control, so why cry about it when this is why I just have to deal with it and live through it.
Alam mo, ito I think one of the reasons why you're a good candidate, and you're not just a candidate, you're the right person who can impart all those wisdom to everyone. It's because you're a well traveler as well. Like you it's not just like you were boxed in you've learned from your mistakes, you've learned from your friends, their whatever happened to them throughout these years, and you became the Oprah, you were listening to them. It's not just that. It's because you've been through different countries, you traveled, and you dealt with so many people from different walks of life. And that's one of the reasons why you gain all this wisdom. And now I feel like it's really time for you to impart it to everyone. Ganun ka kagaling.
Oh my God.
Ikaw na talaga.
I love that. Yung mentality mo talaga, oh my God, you're paying it forward. But before you go to and really go full blown on this project of yours, you said you're going to chill out for a couple of weeks. What do you do on a vacation? What do you do for that day? How do you chill? Yeah.
How do I chill?
Yeah.
I normally find a place in the middle of the woods and literally be by myself. And I say that because it's like me going to India to an ashram and just meditating for 10 days. Or if I can't find that, then I'll go to a space like where I'm going this week, because I was supposed to go down to Miami, but because Miami's not good right now.
Nope.
Not good right now for COVID.
Yes,
So
yes.
I found a tiny house in the middle of the woods of New Hampshire that has a sauna barrel that is in the middle of nowhere. And the shower is like outside. It's like an outhouse. Parang Revenant. Parang si Leonardo DiCaprio, like in the middle. Yeah. Just be out there, and then I just
by yourself.
Right.
Are you gonna be with friends, or are you gonna be by yourself?
By myself.
Are you gonna detach from the phone?
Yeah, like off grid. Like it'll be a place where there's no phone, no Wi-Fi.
Oh
It's because, like for me, for example, every year it's very important for me, and a lot of people know this. I go to Burning Man every year. So Burning Man for me is a place for me.
I have to go there. My God.
But also to reflect, and that's where I set my goals every year. So in August every year, I go to Burning Man, and I go there with first to take care of myself, second to show somebody brand new who's never been there before of what Burning Man is, and then three to celebrate with the community that I'm there with. But first and foremost, it's an experience for myself, because that's where I sit down and I wake up at sunrise and I write my goals for what I'm going to attend for next year, so that then in August I already have my goals set for like the next year, and then I use the next 3 months as a pilot to study whether that's the goals that I really want and to get more specific. Tsaka pagdating ng January 1st or December 31st, there's one thing that I'm just going to work on.
Or even that you're planning. I thought Burning Man was just celebrating art and then partying. But I never thought about, centering as well.
Yeah, it's a very spiritual place, because there's so many people that are. Si Lali wants to go. So my grupo na tayo ha.
Burning Man.
So it's a space for me, and like let's say, for example, last year I had 2 friends that were there that were recovering addicts. They were AA, and so for me, it was such a joy for me to be with them the whole time that I said, I'm not even going to drink. I'm going to spend this time for you because I respect that you're here in the midst of all this madness, and to still be the person that you want to be, because you've gone through this journey for 7 years. And you don't use Burning Man as an excuse to say, you know what, screw my 7 years of sobriety just because I'm at Burning Man. No, if you be with people that can support you, and if I'm going to be one of those people, I will be with you in this journey.
Alam mo, galing, no? Yung aura mo ibang klase. As in, I swear to God. Because I feel like, you're a people person. You love to be surrounded. I feel like your energy, like, you'll exude more if you're surrounded with positive, positivity, people that are so positive, right? But at the same time, you're not afraid to be alone as well. Yung self-love mo nandyan eh.
Yeah.
That's the reason why ganun kaganda yung aura mo. You love yourself and you love to share what you've learned. Hindi ka madamot. Yun yung yung aura mo. Ganun, ang ganda. Diyos ko, Lord, angel si Papa. Ang swerte-swerte. Ano ba to? It's so freaking to walk naked in Burning Man.
It's so freeing to walk naked in Burning Man without judgment from people. It's so liberating.
It is.
Naku, Lali. Ayoko na ako mag-bad. Gusto ko naka-costume ako. Yung ganun. So, bibigyan kita ng costume, Lali. 2 tansan para sa taas.
Tansan?
Band-aid. Ano ba? Para malaki. Yung band-aid.
Isang tansan. At tagal na natin tinakita ng tansan.
Mamili ka. Ninja Turtles o Hello Kitty? Ano ba? Maliit ang tansan. Paano kung malaki yung nipples? O hindi makikita pa din.
Hindi ka plato. Kumuha ka ng ano pa?
Duct tape lang. Duct tape lang yung katawan.
Mali ka ng titoy sa Chinatown. Ganun mo dito. Okay. Marami. So, ayan, Jessie. Ayan.
Sitro, napakahudas. Kasi alam mo, sa totoo lang we didn't even talk about yung journey mo, paano ko nag-umpisa, kasi gusto ko namin ma-inspire yung mga tao. Kasi sobrang colorful ng life mo at ang daming-daming matututunan. Sobra talagang, wow! As I swear,
It's a
papanoorin ko.
book, baby. Are you writing up your chapters
Yeah,
right
I've been
now?
writing a book since
You should write.
2016. It just haven't been
See?
finished because of
You
the
should
direction
write.
changes so often. Because initially it was like memoir, but you can't become a bestseller if nobody knows you, and then you write a memoir, like and then
Exactly.
so you have to have something first that anchors. And initially it was like, oh, it was about the journey to Madison Square Garden, and maybe that. Then you're like, no, that's too like niche. And then so it became like, so it's ever changing, and then it became like resilient, and maybe it should be gratitude. Maybe I think
You
the
don't
journey of
know.
writing a book is always
Just write a book. Dude, I swear to God, write
Holy
a book
crap, that would be
about
like,
your life.
it's so thick, or probably an Old Testament, a New Testament,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's gonna be.
Parang gano'n, no? Ano bang chapter to? Hindi kasi,
War
I
and
mean,
Peace pa siya, War and Peace.
imagine mo, it's like 2.5 hours and we are still eager to listen.
I want more.
Yeah, exactly. So that means the way, I feel like the way you share your journey, your wonderful journey, a lot of people would definitely learn from it. Ganun mo isulat yung libro mo. Kasi ang ganda-ganda ng buhay mo. I mean, ang ganda nung journey mo. Of course, you're not just gonna write down all the positive. I'm sure marami ding times na, it's like a roller coaster, right? Ito, sabi niya, Erwin knows very well how to manifest the law of the universe. Wow, amazing. I'm so loving it. Diba? Kaya aabangan natin, Lali, aabangan natin.
Boy,
Alam mo,
That's definitely
hindi na Burning Man. Dali
funny
natin siya
enough, I did a mastermind for a manifestation about a couple of weeks ago. And it was because people have asked me, what's the process of how you've become successful? What's your process? And for me, it was Don Tagala that asked me when I first got the job.
Yes.
Here he goes, so what's advice can you give to kids in the Philippines? I said first, and I didn't even think about this. It just literally came out of my mouth. I said, number one, you visualize it, be clear with what you really, really want. Two, prepare for the path to get you there. So go to school, meet the right people, find the muse, find the people that you want to follow and become like. Find yourself in uncomfortable positions that make people know who you are for the person that you are. And then number three, allow it to manifest. I think sometimes people force the issue, particularly us, sometimes in the Filipinos, we want it kasi kailangan iplano natin para mangyari, because that's something really ingrained in our culture. But really, sometimes we just have to let go. And it's when letting go that magic actually happens. And that's how I got to where I am, is because of the magic of letting go. I was in Prague on my birthday on July 2014, when I woke up in my friend's couch, and I woke up, I looked at the window and I said, I'm so grateful for getting the chance to live the 4-hour work week and to be able to like travel around the world and impact so many people, that it gives such joy in my life. But the only thing I ever really wanted that will make my life even better, and the only thing I ever ask you, God, Lord, universe, whoever above, is a chance to fulfill a dream than when I was 18, which is to get a job in the NBA. And that's all I ever really will ask for. I don't want material goods. I don't want material goods. I just want that position, because it'll allow me to have a platform to impact more Filipinos back home. And that's what I asked for. And that afternoon, instead of popping champagne, making it rain, and going to a club and reserving a party and whatever, I gave hugs. I gave 300 hugs to people in the center of Prague, strangers, with the intention of just gifting and having my good karma to everybody. And I said, this is the gift from my celebration to everybody. And it was just a magical day that was celebrated by a lot of people. And 2 days after that, I got a call. From a team with no CV given, whatever, just like, hey man, where are you? Your name came up, and I want to know if you're interested in a job in the NBA. Really, like 2 days afterward. And then for the next week or two, I got 4 more offers.
Galing!
Literally, I just asked.
It's the power of the hug.
No, alam mo.
No, I mean, you started with the gratitude, and then you started just giving out hugs because you were very blessed and thankful.
And it's,
and then manifesting. Wow.
I feel like also, paano ba to? I feel like, it was really, you were really destined to be on that situation. Kasi ako, I'm a firm believer na if it's really meant for you, it will fall on your lap flawlessly without
Absolutely.
even exerting any effort. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've been, even like on my part, like I'm not as successful as you, but like on my journey too, to, to like my, throughout my career, like living in the US by myself and everything. And then I'll just be surprised. It was like, really? I got the job? Like, it was just like, huh? Like, let's say I'm working in Goldman Sachs. Everybody wants to get into Goldman Sachs. And it, I didn't even apply for it. They just called. We were in Florence during that time. I asked JCAS and they were like, wait, are you sure? Wait, you called me? How? Blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, and then you just went to the interview when you got the job. So I feel like it was really meant for you, that situation to happen. And with you, you're so lucky because NBA. Kasi, I swear to God, isa ka sa mga taong napakaswerte. Di ba, J-Cass?
Yeah.
Talagang abundant blessings after
Abundance.
blessings after blessings.
It's living a life of abundance, but also accepting that you deserve abundance. And
Exactly.
as you
Yeah,
said,
that's a good point.
and know that you also are successful. I think we all are successful because really success really should be quantified by the fact of what a successful life is the amount of days that you can say you're truly happy. It doesn't mean a house, a car. It's the amount of days that you can truly say you're happy. And if that allows you, if you feel there's days that you truly are happy and you count that, that's what success really means. And to live an abundant lifestyle, an abundant life, is just to consider each day a happy day, a blessed day. And if you do that, then you're successful.
Hindi siya, ito,
Correct.
aside from that, I feel like also, you're the type of person that whatever you touch turns into gold. I think that's a
physically.
Sana nga, no? Lahat
Midas
ng
touch.
sabi nung sana. No, I swear. I feel like, yeah, you have the Midas touch because whatever avenue in life that you decided to go to push through, it always clicks. And that's how ito sa totoo lang, bihira lang yung mga taong ganyan. Like for example, and one good thing about you too, ina-notice ko, you work hard to be, kasi di ba, you want to be a sportscaster, you want to be this, and then you studied physical therapy, and then they just called you. I'm like, what? How the heck did that happen, right? Pero kasi, yun yung mga parang mindset mo na, I really want to be there. I really want to go. I want to make sure that, like for example, kami na lang nito ni Jay Casa. I mean, siguro, maybe you can give us an advice. Like for example, and Jay Casa and I took up communication arts. The same thing with you. My dad was anak, walang pera dyan. Yung mga ganun. So, I was like, you know what, Dad? Gusto ko to. I really want to push it. But the thing is, and I ended up working in the construction industry for so many years when I came to the US. So, and then I wish I had that, your mentality, that mantra in life during, sana na, naging barkada na tayo nun eh. No, I swear, because during that time, I don't have that person the person that who can talk to me and be like, Jesse, you can do it if you want to go to advertising, to marketing, to PR. But I didn't have that person during that time. And same like you. Pero ikaw ang nag-push sa sarili mo na I have to be there. Ako wala. So that's the reason why we're doing this podcast. It's because I'll be honest, this is just one of my frustrations. And you were right. It's never too late. It's never too late. So even if we're like on our right? So we're still, like, in whatever ways that we can still impact lives. It doesn't matter even if you're on your 30s or your 40s or 50s, even if you're on a different path, you can still always follow your path. And that's what you did. Kaso nga lang ikaw, napakaswerte mo.
Ginawa mo na lahat.
I mean, you are so lucky. Kasi imagine mo, you get to, all your life, you pretty much done everything. And then, now NBA, and now you travel the world.
Ika nga ni Tito Boy Abunda, kung sino interview namin siya, ang sabi niya, ang dami niyang aha moment and mga inspirational words. Isa sa mga naalala ko talaga, sinabi niya, nawala tuloy ako. Teka lang, ano ba sinabi ni Tito Boy? Seryoso ka?
Prinep mo masyado.
Oh my God! Na-mental block ako. Ayan, bumalik na. Sinabi niya na, luck is the product or the result of hard work. So yun.
It is. You have a lot of luck.
So combo yun. So
yeah.
Totoo yan.
Because of the fact that, it's as luck will be there, but like anything else, in order for a dream to be fulfilled, you have to buy the ticket. I think a lot of times people go and like they expect that the universe will manifest for them because they ask for it. And I think sometimes, and I love my parents and my mom particularly, as she says, just pray for it and then it'll happen. But if you don't buy the ticket, or you don't take the risk, or you don't jump, whatever you pray for, it's not going to happen.
You have to do something.
If you won't not win the lottery if you don't buy the ticket. And that ticket is hard work. The ticket means getting it done. The ticket means sacrificing and making a risk and saying like, look, maybe this time I'm like, perfect example for that was I was working in 53rd and Madison right after I kind of finished school and did my fellowships and stuff. And I wanted to be in professional sports. And it took an opportunity to me to work in the minor leagues of baseball and take a 75% pay cut to move to Florida, work with 18-year-old Dominican and Venezuelan kids, to bus them, drive them, live in a motel with them, in order for me to then be noticed by the powers that be that said this kid was willing to take a pay cut and sacrifice to get better and learn what professional sports is about. Let's offer him a big deal.
Wow.
And at a moment that I got same thing. That was 2004 or 2005 when I literally spent a year in the minor leagues. I left my job in 53rd and Madison, spent a year in the minor leagues, and then I basically backpacked Europe. And while I was backpacking Europe, I came back for 1 week and I had 3 or 4 teams calling me for a job that I wanted. And I was in Europe. I was like, and Cirque du Soleil was one of those companies sent me a contract while I was in the south of France and said, we want you to work for us. And here's a 2-year contract. And I'm like, I'm still backpacking. I'll get back to you. Give me 1 second.
I'm still farming in Europe. Whatever. I'm hugging 300 people in here.
I'm hanging out in Nice with a beautiful French girl.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Naku, Jessie, dream natin yung pumunta ng Prague. Wala pa, no? Sana next year, no?
I hope it will happen. Pero ang galing, no? Kasi tama, alam mo, you are so right when you mentioned that. Like, you really have to buy the ticket. Because it's not like life in general. It's really like a box of chocolates, right? Like, you never know what you're going to get. But you have to make sure that you're willing.
Buy the box of chocolates.
Yes, buy the box of chocolates. But you have to make sure that you're willing to take the risk. Diba? Parang, ang feeling ko rin dyan, parang courtship eh. Like, you really like that girl. Right? And then if you really want her, then ask her to go out on a date. Yeah. Like, ask her to. Because if you don't, and you feel like, it's okay, she'll come to me one of these days. Dude, that girl is already your best friend's girlfriend. So stop. Right? Yeah. It can be. So just
that's a real thing. That's probably what happened to me when I was like sixth grade in the
sixth grade.
I was like, there's a neighbor of mine that I really was like had a massive crush on, and I would use the excuse of biking to my friend's house, which was on the corner from her house, just to have a possibility na mag-glance ko siya na nasa garden siya. But torpe ako, so I never just stop and ask her out. I always said I had to try to be friends with her, and I was like, I tried to be friends with her. Now looking back, I should have just said, look, can I take you out? Let's get this done.
Exactly.
But at the time, I was like, I thought I wasn't worthy because I was like, oh, I'm not some like rich boy with this car that can drive you around. I just have a bicycle that's old, but that was my dad's 10 years ago, and I'm back to your house. I was like, I'm not worthy. And so I almost had to build myself up. But I would go to my wall in my house and write poetry for her and stuff like that. Pero I was like torpe, and I was like, I just couldn't.
Oh, wow. Tamo? Pero na-practice mo naman yan ngayon, di ba? Look at you now.
Well,
like,
it takes some work. And one of the biggest blessings that actually came into my life was The Game by Neil Strauss. It was learning how to become a pickup artist. That was one of the things that I learned when I first moved to New York, my first time in 2003 to 2005.
Okay.
It's learning how to open sets, create conversations, and peacock and neg and use
Peacock.
NLP and all that
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
woo!
Because that also, even from a business standpoint and stuff,
Mhm.
is very effective. You use neurolinguistic programming and stuff and look at things and analyze things and be able to use language to kind of like create things that people will remember you for. And it's one of those things that I learned how to then pick up girls, but it wasn't the goal for you to come and take her home to sleep with her. It's for her to end up interested in you so much that she'll ask you for your number.
Ooh, JCast, maybe you can try to read that book. Is that a book, right? That's a book.
Yeah, the book called The Game by Neil Strauss. It's like
Game. There you go.
actual
Well, I don't-
bestseller.
Is there I'll get the, if ever I'll get the audio version.
Audiobook. Yeah, it's an audiobook. Yeah.
I'm telling you, if I read a book, I always stop in the middle, even if it's a comic book. I have a problem.
you just
I stop in the middle and I don't go back. I don't know.
Oh my god, there's some people who love who loves to they don't like visualizing.
Yeah.
They're more into like they want to see,
They want to see
right,
it.
or listen, or yun si JCast. He wants to see.
He wants to see.
It's like
Voyeur ka pala, voyeur, huh?
yeah, I want to see, and I want it on the tip of my tongue.
Touch.
You know, there you go. Yep, we went there. We went back.
Keeping it wholesome. I wanted to. So I see Chinky on a comment
Hi,
here
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
about her son, who she wants him to focus on academics and not a basketball scholarship.
Yeah.
To talk about that, I just wanted to say that yes, the academic scholarship should be, I think, the main focus, because if your son has the skill enough, the academics will then have the ability to then have an academic scholarship. It's like exactly what Chico told me. It's like if you're gifted enough to be able to like
True.
speak and spread your message with language and your ability to speech, why study it?
Exactly.
You know?
That's
So
true.
if your son Chinky is gifted with the game of basketball, make him focus on academics, because then will allow him to have stability in the future and not just bank on his skill, because all it takes in a basketball situation is an injury, and then it's done.
That's true. It's so true. My God, that's a good one. And I will give my son because my son right now loves basketball. So he's always like, what do you want to be when you grow older? You know what he'll always say? A basketball player. And we always tell him, like, Baba, you have to, to be a doctor, whatever. Blah, blah. No, I just want to be a basketball player. My God, I will let my son meet you in person.
Oh, me too. I gusto ko na matapos tong COVID para we can hang out and drink na. And
well, actually, si Jess, may utang sa akin ng isaw yan, ha? May
isaw ako, promise.
Oh, we can do that too. Oh my, drinks and isaw.
Barbecue
Teka,
yan.
meron ka bang backyard dyan?
Me, ish,
Ganun
kind of.
lang.
Maliit. Pupunta na lang kami dyan. Dali, dadala ka namin ng isaw.
Hindi pa pwede mag-barbecue ng isaw sa soccer field. Bawal pa.
Oo nga, sa soccer. No, we can.
We can be the soapy,
Wait,
the
do you
annoying
eat
Pinoys,
isaw?
the annoying Asians barbecuing in the soccer field.
Do you eat isaw?
Ano?
You eat isaw?
Yeah, syempre. Taga UP ako, no?
Ay, shit. Oo nga pala.
Mang Benz or the guy in the corner yung malapit sa gitna ng UP,
Oh
the
my
middle
God.
center that I used to eat isaw there all the time, no?
Oo nga pala, taga-UP to. My God.
Sa labas ng PGH, kain ka agad, di ba?
Ang galing, no? Wait, can you believe 2.5? Alam mo, isa ka sa
Oh my God, it's too much ba? Sorry, ha?
Hindi, ang saya.
Amiga.
I'll be
Oh my
honest
God.
with you,
And there's
sobra.
so much more. Tapos ang social mo pa, at the same time, jologs ka din. Ikaw na talaga. Alam mo
I
yun?
mean, you're a combination of everything.
Oh my God. You're not a human being, you're an alien. You're
Yeah,
probably
parang
from the planet I said earlier during the introduction. I said, oh my God, Uranus, not my anus, but Uranus. See?
It's gonna be your anus. Ay, Uranus pala, your anus.
You went there.
She said it.
I
was talking about the planet, girl.
You went there.
Saturn, hindi Uranus. Ikaw talaga.
Kasi isaw naman pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? The isaw goes. Where is it connected? Oh, di ba? Oh, there you go.
Oh my God, Erwin. We had so much fun.
Oh my God.
Sobra kayo, sobra.
Yeah.
Erwin, I swear.
Ikaw sobra ka din, nakakainis ka. You're like everything. Oh my God.
Sobra. Alam mo, isa siya sa mga one of those people that we look up to, that are very talented and who's so blessed, abundant blessings. Pero I swear, marami kaming mga na-interview din. Pero ikaw, Diyos ko, Lord, talagang umaapa.
No, but you're fun as well, and you're telling it like, oh my God, I wanna know more.
And you're
you know?
so humble. You're funny.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I really wish like you, the whoever is your special someone right now is so lucky. I swear. And we wish you all the best. I wish like one of these days, gagano na lang kami. Jesse, what's your address? What? Promise bigyan kitang isaw. Ano yun? We are inviting ourselves to your.
Of course.
Jesse owes me isaw.
We're inviting ourselves to that yacht.
Isasama kita, Lali. So talaga bibigyan natin siya ng isaw. No, I swear. I mean, we wish you all the best.
They have a tiny little back area here, but maybe we can do it. My neighbor has he has like a bigger grill, and I have more of an infrared grill that's smaller, but
it doesn't matter. Oh my God, sige, let's plan it. No, it doesn't matter. We will make isaw and
ang sarap ng usapan nito at inuman. Ang dami niyang kwento.
Siguro lahat kami nakagano na lang. Tapos, kwento ka pa. Tapos, what about you, Justin J? Kasi hindi masaya yung story namin.
Hindi. It's like this. And then I will just interject green jokes from time to time.
Oo, ganun talaga kami.
The usual. But
the usual.
Yeah.
Alam mo, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I feel like yung kanina kwentuhan, feeling ko wala nang camera eh. Talagang kwentuhan. Kasi ganito, this is how we talk. Jake and I, we've been friends for so many years. Pag ikaw kainuman namin ganito, pero mild pa to. Kasi yung talagang green jokes, I forget.
I'm even holding back at this moment.
We are still holding back. Kasi parang,
but this is what you asked, right? This is what kwento lang naman yung balak niya.
Yeah, pero may times din na parang, teka sandali, parang sumusobra ka na Jekas. Minsan, kung ano-ano na hinakabakan namin. Pero nag-enjoy ka ba? Nag-enjoy ka? Did you add fun?
Yeah, this is amazing. I think kasi it allows me to like kind of go back to my Tagalog and like be able to speak it and kind of get to my Jeprock side, and it's like
I know, it's like a combination of everything, right?
It really is.
Alam mo, I wish we will have a part 2, no? And then that time, I know. Na yung part 2 na yun, it will be like you talking about, the health and wellness and everything.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. No.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yeah, we a little bit, yeah, but
hindi, alam mo, a little bit, but you know what? You talk about like everything and anything talaga do sa kwento mo. Pero ang maganda kasi dito is the health and wellness. We will talk on the second part, no? Pero we talk about it eh. Marami kang kwento about it. Pero yung ikaw, why yung the real Erwin Valencia, why you became Erwin Valencia? Now we have an understanding why you are so positive. You're very optimistic. The way you think, oh my God, ibang klase, as in up there. It's because of your humble beginnings.
The upbringing, the experience in life.
Now meron kaming a taste of your di ba? A taste
what?
of your...
Jessie?
Wag na.
Nagtanong lang naman ako, wala naman ako sinasabi. Hindi ko bahala. Check the question as it is. Bahala ka.
Kumaga, we had a taste of...
Taste the isaw, Jessie.
Yes. Taste the isaw.
Let's do the ASMR. Di ba ano yun yung Friday night, yung bastos mong show? Ano yun? So, ano sabi mo yun?
My beach volleyball career.
Yeah.
Ano?
The Friday night chill out project.
Yes. Chill out with my isaw.
You know what's funny? Actually, I have a kwento there. So on some nights, because my shift was 10 to 2 on Fridays.
Yes.
So at that time, hindi pa uso lang ng pager, tsaka fax. Wala
Oh my
pang
God. Yeah, the
text.
pager and the fax. Yes.
Yung text, mahirap pa yung Nokia na medyo one-liner lang siya.
Oo.
You know? So I remember the nights sometimes I would be there at mga 1 o'clock. Kasi syempre the music I'm playing is mga R&B, mga sweet songs, people prepping to go out. So one time I would get the messages of like people sending me messages either on the pager or fax. The worst one or the funniest thing I've ever experienced is somebody sending me a fax of like describing like, I really like your voice. Can we meet me here, like at this bar in whatever in Quezon City or whatever after your shift or whatever you call it, and they send like a fax of a photo, and I'm like, this is so weird. I kept this
That's so bizarre.
fax with a place to go, tsaka may photo pa. Pero fax yun, di ba? So medyo like,
Pixelated pa yung picture.
you're like, I can't really tell kung anong itsura na.
Babae ba to?
Babae pa, lalaki.
I can't understand kasi medyo blurry siya. Blurry yung itsura niya.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You know?
But she got your attention, right?
At
Yeah,
least, di ba?
Yeah, like how many people have a fax machine in the house na papa-fax sa'yo, di ba? Like, who pays enough attention to put the picture on like a piece of paper na tinape na if a fax na papaloob. That's
Exactly. Ganun ka katindi.
That's effort. That was
nagbigay
effort.
ng ano sa'yo, ng panty or bra. Hindi mo, hindi mo, oh, ito na, oh, slip mo lang, or hotel keys, gano'n,
Oh.
walang gano'n.
Mga leche kayo, mamatay na yung laptop ko, kailangan ikabit ko na. Ano ba yan? Grabe. Asar ka usapan na to.
It's 3 hours.
Lumaban kay Michael Flores, ano ha?
Michael Flores, ibang klase to. Tsaka
3 hours or more yun, grabe naman yun. Puro bastusan lang din yun eh. Pero dito, ako yung bastos, pero merong ano, ayan, merong...
Inspiration.
Oo, may inspirational
I
words.
love Michael Flores. Oh my God, I love that
No,
interview.
I think that you guys are framing it correctly. I think my goal is, and this is why the campaign that we're doing is, I think in the Philippines, wala pang champion for this mental health and wellness space. Madaming talking about it. A lot of the starlets are talking about it, but there's nobody that really makes it into something that's real that people can have a conversation around. Yeah. Usually it's like, oh, kamusta kayo? Ano, sad ba kayo? You know, or something.
Because mental illness is not really talked about in the Philippines. It's either what in the Philippines, ano ka, you're normal or you're crazy. There's nothing in between.
In between,
yeah.
True,
so it's more like, oh no, kung crazy ka, oh no, let me know. Go into my Instagram live. We'll talk about it. But you're like, the people are doing that aren't even like, number one, not qualified to really give advice. Number two, they shouldn't be giving advice. Number three, their goal is just to, if they want to create a forum, have people that have the knowledge to at least even learn how to coach from a standpoint of knowing, like, if this is a real situation, somebody professional needs to take care of this. Not try to say, oh, hindi, okay lang yan. Mag-ano ka lang, sumayaw ka lang, okay lang yan.
Inuman lang tayo. Okay,
inuman lang tayo.
Inom ka ng Biogesic, okay na yan.
Yeah, okay na yan. And it's not okay. You know, there's some people that have real problems. And if you are not qualified to handle this, have the right people to say, you need to talk to this person.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
But if you frame it from a standpoint of like, hey, you know, you just bring it together of having people just have a conversation by presenting them situations, like the whole naranasan mo na ba? Then people can say like, you know what? I felt that. I know what that's like. Mm-hmm. And then begin that. And then if I can be a champion for that, for back in the Philippines, if I can start that next month, especially during the time of COVID, where everyone is really going through a lot more things, then it'll bring so much joy to my life that I'm being able to serve the people back home.
Wow. Grabe, ang lalim mo talaga. I'm sure a lot of people, we will, you know what, send us all the information because we will definitely help you and push, you know, like, so you can help a lot of, not just Filipinos in the Philippines, but Filipinos all over the world. Not maybe, I'm sure a lot of non-Filipinos will definitely support that project. Diba? Mali mo, kami ni Jay Casti parang pasimple lang. Ano nung pa-enroll naman, no? My God! It's an honor. I mean,
Thank
imagine,
you so much,
parang Tito Boy,
Erwin.
no? Tito Boy
Yeah,
at
yeah.
saka, actually, ikaw si Tito Boy, tsaka si
This is
Michael
what this
Flores.
is what I love about this platform, because you get surprised and from people, and then you learn so much.
Yes,
I mean, we have
true.
fun and all, but at what do we get out of this? There's something we get out of this when we sleep
A
right now.
lot,
It's
a
like,
lot.
you
Yes,
know,
as in a lot.
yeah,
Yes,
aha
we've learned
moments.
from you. A
Mm.
lot of aha moments. Yes. Sobra. Ang galing. Alam mo, kaya nga sabi ko kay Jay kasi, we're so lucky because, God gave us a chance to meet, a lot of people that who can, who can, who can enlighten us with a lot of things that we never even discovered before. No, so every time, like from you, oh my God, we've learned a lot. I'm gonna watch this again while drinking wine. Like you usually, because I have a small balcony there, so I'll just drink, and then I usually watch, and then just like, try to like
Digest, yeah.
sometimes what I do is um digest it, and most of the time I write it down because I
Yeah,
love writing
you
down
should.
yung mga quotes and everything. And then I started like, analyzing it, and
Yeah.
I have to like make sure that I have to discern that, oh, ito pala yung nangyari, ito yung nangyari. And isa yan sa yung video na to is one of those podcasts na I will learn a lot. And thank you so much for sharing your insights about life, your stories, everything that you've learned from your journey,
Maraming
and
salamat,
for
paring
conveying it.
Erwin, Papa E.
Papa
Ano
E.
ba?
Wala na. Itatawag ko
I
na
think
sa'yo ngayon, Dr.
Luke already
E.
went. Luke already left. Luke is like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy is talking a lot, so much already.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God. No,
I
no,
need
no,
to
no. I'm
text him.
sure
It's been a while. I need to
it's
say
been
hi.
a while. Oh, sige.
I miss
Uy,
him.
kailangan natin, seryoso. We have to meet, ha? As
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
mag-meet.
yeah. Definitely. If we're
Oh,
gonna
Let's plan,
do
let's plan.
ESO session here or
yeah,
your
yeah.
place or whatever, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Oo, sige, sige. Sino sila? Si Janine. Do you know Janine? Janine
Sugonon is
Tugonon?
a
The
beauty
Miss
queen.
Universe? Miss Universe?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Oo nga. Well, lately lang yun. Anyway, basta, we have to plan it, ha? So, pupunta kami dyan. Tapos magdadala na kami ng pad and paper. O, libreto, Gcash.
You know what?
Kunyema,
You know what's
libreto.
funny you say that.
May session tayo.
you, you know what's funny you say that. So my mom's family is from Quezon. So
Okay.
we have an ancestral kind of beach area in Quezon, Barrio Salvacion, where my mom's family is from and stuff. And so my tita, one of the younger titas, who's kind of closer to my age, she's the parang head of the Department of Education of the state of the province of Quezon. And so she knows kind of like the mayor of Lukban, and she knows a couple of people. And then so when I come to so you ask me what I do on my vacation. So sometimes when I go home to the Philippines, I literally go to, we have parang a nipa hut in that beach that literally is like just a big nipa hut, and I go there and I stay there and I just be there by myself, and I hang out with the fishermen to catch fish, and I like climb the coconut trees, hang out with the carabao, and I just like hang out there, just there. And then but then when my tita comes and visits, she does exactly that. She goes, do you mind if I bring some people with me? Because I think they want to take notes. Ano? Ginawa naman ako sideshow, ha? May bayad yan, ha?
May bayad.
Bayad yan, ha? Ginawa naman ako
Well,
sideshow. So they all come and they're like, oh, we're ready. Ano ba yung mga
we ain't Filipinos for nothing.
lesson mo today?
Okay.
Okay. Ano yung thoughts mo for today?
Makalibre lang ng ano, 'di ba? Why not?
Oh my.
Nakabakasyon ka na.
I was like there. I was like trying to like bakasyon, and bigla my tito was like, "You tell us when you come, huh?" But even at times, pag if I do a talk in Makati, I mean, one time my tita brought her friends and nag-Uber sila galing Lukban papuntang Makati.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nag-Uber sila ng 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I was like, you guys are crazy. Like,
Oh wow.
Uber back the same night.
Oh my, that means grabe ganun ang impact mo sa mga tao.
No, but I love my tita. She's my tita SL. I feel like she has a good heart, that she wants to make a difference with the education system, and the reason why she was so fascinated because she's one of the first provinces to introduce the STEM situation in the Philippines with the education system. But then she also wanted to bring mindfulness. And the challenge she's having with mindfulness in the Philippines is that nobody knows how to frame it in a non-religious situation. So the problem is when she wants to teach mindfulness, what the naakala ng mga like parents na they're saying, ano ba tinuturuan mo yung anak ko? Ano ba religion ba din? Kulto ba to? Instead of saying that, like, look, this is about being more intentional and like all that other stuff. And so because I'm more practical and I use science and I bring positive psychology, then I bring this more situation. So her and I talk about this a lot, and every time I get to go home, I go home to Quezon and at least have conversation to see how we can interject this as part of a daily situation with the school system in Quezon.
Grabe, no? Nasa family niyo naman pala eh. Lahat naman pala kayo eh. Gusto nyo, you guys wanna like share everything, your knowledge and everything. It really runs in your family, no?
Tsaka share mo na nga rin talaga pag pupunta tayo ng Pilipinas yung resort niya, ha? Maka-swimming kami.
Hindi sa resort. Literally, beach siya. Tapos may nipa hut sa gitna kasi my mom is part of 8 sila so 8 her mom, and then yung lola ko 8 kids sila. So each of those lolas have their own part of the beach. So
that's good.
So yung part namin, like directly from my family, is just like my mom had this vision that gusto niya like this nipa hut, this big nipa hut that's like high kasi para pag nabaha, no problem.
Yes.
But literally, I go, Mom, nag-hire ka ba ng architect para mag-design? Hindi, ako lang. Drino ko sa papel. Tapos ginawa, sabi ko sa mga kapentero, oy, gusto ko yung bamboo dyan, itaas nyo. I'm like, are you serious?
Alam nga naman, ikaw lang may vision. Siyempre, yung nanay mo din, may vision din, di ba?
Yung nanay mo din. Diyos ko, paraan lang yan.
Yung vision mo na yan.
I was like, I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is a crazy... So it's not by any means a resort. It's definitely not a resort.
Okay na rin yan. Pag maganda blue waters, pristine, resort na rin yan para sa akin.
Resort na rin yan. So depende lang yan.
More ancestral. Medyo like, it's brown. It's like, it's
relaxing.
It's relaxing because it's home,
Exactly. For as long as you feel like it's home, di ba? Okay lang yun. It doesn't matter kung mukhang 5-star pa yan or inipahat lang.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Salamat ako.
Oh my God.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Sabi ni Oy, teka,
okay.
Before we say bye-bye naman, can you give everyone naman, an advice? Like in general advice. And second is to those people that, like who's lost right now. Like they don't know what's going on with their life. And they wanna, let's say for example, they wanna be like you. They wanna be a sportscaster or they want to follow like a specific path, but they're lost. So, diba, can you give us like, like in general, a message for everyone?
Yeah. Well, the first thing above anything else is I tell people is to take care of themselves. Because if you don't work from a full cup, you will get empty right away. And then you have nothing to give to anybody else. So always take care of yourself. This is the perfect time to look inwards, and not only from a standpoint of your health, but also from a standpoint from understanding socially who you are in this world. So take this time not as a frame, and this is a positive psychology technique. Is like most people will look at it as a bad thing and says, "Oh, I'm lonely because I'm in isolation. I'm lonely because I'm isolated." But if you change the way you think about it and just say, look, I'm not in isolation, I'm in solitude. And in solitude, by changing that verbiage of how you approach it, solitude is what monks go through. They choose to be alone. They choose to be in a position where they can reflect and be by themselves. Australians and New Zealanders, after they finish high school, they choose to go in solitude and go walk about around the world for a year at least before they even decide to go to college. But they choose it. It's empowered singularity in a sense. So use this time not to get yourself into a lonely situation because you're in isolation, but find solitude and grace in the fact that this is a space that empowers you to define who you are. So it is it is a period of time to then discover what your purpose and your mission is in this planet. And if you take enough time by taking care of yourself, that mission will come to you when you least expect it.
Wow.
Amen.
What a beautiful message.
Alone
Grabe,
but not
amen.
lonely.
Exactly. Just like
Yeah.
Chicas, alone but not lonely.
Exactly. Alone but not lonely.
Wow. So what
Okay.
about do you have anything to plug? I'm sure you have a lot. You have
Um,
tons. Tons. Ayan na, sinusundo ka na ng, ng ambulance.
Tama na daw. Magka 3 hours na. Tama na
Oo
daw.
nga pala ng ambulance.
speaking of mental health, I gotta get out of here. Ayan na yung asylum. Kinukuha
Ayan
na
na.
ako.
Pinipick up na si Jcas. Oh my God, yung curfew ni Jcas. So wait, do you have anything? I'm sure you have a lot of things to plug. Please.
Make sure to get into my website, erwinvalencia.com, if that's on the chat.
Yes, definitely. Okay, go.
I actually got it on the description.
Yeah, just put
Oh, the description.
erwinvalencia.com.
Yes. Okay.
And if you can go in there, sign up to like my newsletters that I go every week. I put out like certain things that either experiences or people that are on like my Sunday gratitude show that I just finished my last episode last week, or certain products that I'm using that allows me to be healthier, certain things like oils and other things that I personally do. And I share it in my newsletter that I give every week. So sign up on erwinvalencia.com on the newsletter. And I have an ebook there that I give away about my journey from Manila to Madison Square Garden. So if you sign up for that, that's on there right now. That's number one. Number two, you can follow me in any of my social media stuff. It's the same that's written down here at Erwin B. Valencia. And I'll have any kind of recent stuff that I have that I'm plugging on that's on there. Third, I have an online course that's coming up next August that I'm launching called Wellbeing Tools for Transitional Times. So it's basically quick, practical tips on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual hacks to allow you to basically continue to thrive even at this period of uncertainty. And that's launching next month. And then obviously the campaign on mental health with Naranasan Mo Na Ba, which will be coming in August as well. So August is going to be big for me. So stay tuned in August. And if you just need to look at the my Instagram, and you'll kind of learn all the new stuff that's in there that's coming on. And if you can support anything on that, I'll be truly grateful. And if you can put your email on the erwinvalencia.com and kind of get updated on when I'm releasing things, that will be absolutely appreciated as well.
Oh my God. Ako, after this, magsasign in ako. Oh my God. Hindi ka busy. Seryoso.
Ang tamad-tamad mo.
Ang tamad-tamad mo.
Oh my God.
That's why I need like a couple of days in the middle of nowhere.
You're such an underachiever.
So I can run around and just be buck naked and by myself. And
Exactly.
Thank you for that last picture that you placed in my mind.
Thank you talaga. Sobra. Thank you so much. It's really an honor. We're so humbled. Grabe. Talaga. Honored. It's an honor talaga. Grabe. Ang dami ko pa uuli. We will watch this again and I'll write down notes. Sinabi niya to.
It's nice to really get to know you more, because I remember just meeting you and just probably, who's this smiling cute guy? I know you're wearing a hat already. He dresses well and with pristine.
That hat. That's the hat I was wearing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was okay. Is he Filipino or whatever, blah, blah. And now finding about you were championing actually.
I really thought in the beginning, when I first saw you like 4 years ago, I thought you're Chinese or Korean. So,
I get that.
Pero,
I get that.
I know, but I was like, Chinese, pero usually, damn, Chinese, because you're so tall. I was like, okay.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
That's what I can say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor. And I hope always keep in touch. And I know your cell number. So definitely.
Don't type out to everybody.
Barbecue. Inuman.
Barbecue.
Yeah, Isaw, yes.
Oh no. Trust me, we will bring
I think
chicken barbecue, pork barbecue, isaw.
But at least I think NYC is doing great. We had a 0 case a couple of days ago. I hope.
Exactly.
I think we're getting an A+ out of all the states. I hope it continues.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope it continues too, because I think we're doing well, and that will help us to be able to then gather again with each other.
Yes, and go back to fellowship, right?
Yes.
Community. You know,
Community.
social interactions is one of the keys to happiness, and so I think that's what some people are missing. It's social contact, and if we are able to contact each other within each other and share space and energy and aura, the healthier we can come back to again.
Kaya ayan, Jekas ha. Kailangan magkita-kita tayo. Sumama ka ha. Okay ka lang na Friday, Saturday ha. Promise?
Mauna pa ako doon. Ano ka ba? Sa bahay na rin.
Pero Erwin, you're okay with Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah.
As if like we're so busy, right? Like the following day.
Unless you see me, I'm in Clinton Hill social dancing at
dancing.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing every week. Just because in the past, since my birthday last week or 2 weeks ago, one of the important things for me is to dance, and my birthdays. Historically, besides doing service every day, I have to dance.
Were you doing hip hop or?
Yeah, it was a block party that happens in Clinton Hill. It used to do 100 days in a row, but now they just do it on the weekends. It's called St. James Joy because it's in St. James Place and Green Street, and they bring joy to people by allowing them to dance. And it's just a dude that started by opening his window, and then playing music like 90s hip hop. And
wait a minute, is this
can we go?
Is it in Jersey or Brooklyn?
It's in Clinton Hill and Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the news. Like, oh, it's a dance party in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where I go. I'll be there on Sunday. I'll be there on Sunday bringing my biscuits, which is like my crew of like. I'm very lucky to like hang out with a lot of beautiful girls, and they just all call themselves the Biscuits, and me and the Biscuits are going. It's like Charlie's Angels. Like me and the Biscuits are going dancing at Clinton Hill on Sunday. It's only from 7 to 8 because that's the only time they were able to get permit to close the road and have the noise permit
for 1 hour.
For 1 hour, it's just people going there with unity, with love, to dance, to celebrate humanity, and to understand that we're strong and we're gonna get through this together.
Galing. Talaga naman. Sama tayo, Jake.
Idol. Ano pa ito? Nakakainis. Lahat na lang ginagawa niya.
If you guys want to come Sunday, whoever's here, Lali, because she's clearly on the thread.
Lali, kasama ka na. Ayan na si
Dance, I'll be there on Sunday from 7 to 8. It's only from 7 to 8. So.
Galing. Ayan, Jake. So, nasa Brooklyn ka na eh. Oh my God. Jake.
It's free. It's like, just be free. Be whatever you want to be. It celebrates life.
And it's hip hop. I love hip hop.
It's not always, it's technically house. They play a lot more house.
Oh, I love house too.
It's based out of Fort Greene. It's more house. So they mix.
Yeah.
They start with a little bit of hip hop. They put a little Michael Jackson, and then they play like, things like Gloria Gaynor, and they'll come up with like different things. And it's a mixture of, there's Madonna,
yeah.
There's everything. It's like, but house music, it's just dance. So you just celebrate life.
Uy, sabi ni Lali, yes, I'm down.
You're gonna get told to get out if you're not wearing a mask. So.
Oh wow! Oh, Lali, okay, go. So now you have a new date. See, Lali, my God, Lali will be part of the Biscuits.
If you want me to I'll be.
Yung Skyflakes.
Skyflakes.
You can be the Skyflake.
I love you, Lali.
Love you, Lali. Oh my God. Anyway, exactly. Visit ka. So anyways, Jeka's 3 hours na.
Salamat.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So,
it's like midnight. It's about to hit, guys. You guys are like, this is wild. I'm so, I can't believe we've been talking this long. So
right?
I know, right? Parang, sabi ko, bitin, ang dami ko pang tatanong. Di bale, we will continue this with Lali, definitely. Oh my God, sabi ni Lali, puta ka, Jekas. Skyflakes daw siya. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you again. And we wish you all the best. You always have to keep in touch, ha? And definitely, we will, we'll text each other and we'll schedule. Lali, come with us, ha? We'll drive all the way.
I'm happy. I'm already considering myself your new friend.
Yes, my God. Thank
and also,
you so
by the
much.
way,
Yes.
also another plug. It's not really mine, but I'm part of a community called Daybreaker. On
What is that?
Saturday, we're doing a Daybreaker, which is a virtual dance party at 11 a.m. We've been doing this for more than 3 months now. And Daybreaker is an early morning sober dance party that spends positivity and love and joy and all that other stuff. But this Saturday is special because it's sponsored by AARP, which is the retirement crew. And our special guest for this weekend, for the Saturday, is the Village People. And Gloria Gaynor herself.
Wow!
Yeah. So she'll be live with us.
That's big. Oh my God.
There's going to be like 2,000-3,000 people online together. So
what's the name?
it's called Daybreaker. Daybreaker.
Daybreaker in Facebook?
And it's free because it's sponsored by AARP.
On Facebook?
It's going to be on Zoom.
On Zoom.
So daybreaker.com. Yeah. So
Daybreaker.com.
Daybreaker.com.
And you don't need to have an
you register so that you can get the Zoom
ID. And I'm assuming you don't need to have an AARP card to join.
No. They're just sponsoring it. They're just sponsoring it. That crew, they traveled on tour with Oprah.
Young man.
Disco is coming.
My God, ang dami pa. Tamo, ang dami na. Feeling ko marami tayong mamimit dito sa batang to no?
Oh my God.
Saturday for virtual disco and Sunday for Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, St. James Joy.
Oh, wow. Ayan Jcas, go. Go tayo.
Pupunta tayo.
IRL on Sunday, virtual on Saturday.
On Saturday. Diba? Hindi talaga siya busy. Hindi siya busy. Grabe.
Dahil dyan, magto-toast na tayo.
Sige. Oh my God. 3 hours na. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ako din My God, hindi na ako nakatayo ng para kumuha yung vodka ko yata, ubus na Pero anyway, you know what? I didn't need it. You're the drink. You
are the drink. Yeah, you are the vodka. Galing talaga ni Jcas.
Diba?
You are the vodka.
You're my vodka. Dahil dyan, I just want to thank everybody who kept magtatagalog na ka lang ako. Salamat po sa lahat ng mga nakinig at nanood. ngayong araw na to. Oh my God. Guys, if you missed this live, watch it again, panoorin nyo yung recording in all of the podcast platforms po. Okay? Oh my God. Erwin, thank you for being you, for championing the Filipino, for making kwento about your life, for being successful and helping others to be successful as well.
Yes,
okay. Thank you for paying it forward. The Filipinos are already saying their gratitude just right now. We say thank you. Salamat. Yes. Okay?
Thank you so much for being our vodka. Diba? Sabi nga ni Jcas, you're enough. That's it. High na kami at saying lot because of your word of wisdom.
We are all enough.
Yes.
We are all enough.
And we're looking forward to the part 2 and we'll talk about wellness.
Yes, we're going to go to that time.
It's that topic.
Ngayon kasi more on about you the next time about wellness and everything.
So everybody, Filipinos around the world, okay, and in Uranus, in Saturn, Filipino communities, thank you. This has been Over a Glass or Two. Cheers! Good morning!
Good morning!
Ulog na! Gising na! Bye! Thank you, Erwin!
Bye, Uranus!
Bye!